can only imagine the smells coming out of that thing, but you know.
What's up, everybody? This is NFL Network's Adam Ray.
This is Only Fruits.
This is Matt Waldman.
This is Chris Zork from your Chicago Bears.
I'm Deanne Miller.
Dan Weeder.
Hey, my name's Rashad Whitfield.
I'm Courtney Cronin.
Hey, this is David Kaplan. Listen to me. You want to learn football? Listen to my guys, Phil and Shayne.
Shayne and Phil.
Shayne and
Phil.
Oh, Phil.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
On the Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
The following show is for mature audiences only.
It was like, hey man, Lou's my guy. I love this guy. He was a mentor. Yeah. He was my big brother, and so when they brought me to the team, I actually went to they moved me to fullback.
Yeah,
I know.
Which I actually embraced the move. They tried this at Ohio State like my third year, and I did not like that, and it truly didn't go well. But so, fortunately, I was able to get my way back to running back and made things happen. So when the Bears drafted me and wanted me to go to fullback, I was like, sure, I'll try it. And what happened was, man, I actually learned how to run block and pass block, and my pass receiving became crazy. And then all of a sudden, man, I became like this running back that could do all these different things. And I really started to carve out my identity. So I was so much better being like this ultra back guy versus, just like a running back. So when they drafted Rashaan Salaam, man, it didn't matter to me at all. I liked the idea of having like another dude that was explosive, roughly like the same size as me. And we could just be like a great 1-2 punch a little bit because, it feels a little disrespectful because arguably next to the quarterback, like a running back, I guess it depends on the system, but a running back is so important. And being able to like move that ball and move the chains and continually put the offense in a really good manageable positions, as well as being able to like pass block, run block, all of that, like pass, receiver, like all of that stuff a running back has to be able to do. And I think, the position gets a bad rap because, some of these teams were able to, they didn't do a great job of drafting. So someone like Pacheco goes in the 7th round and makes it seem like he wasn't that good. Or Kareem, you get him at a discount. So now, you don't have to invest as much in running backs. I don't think it translates directly myself. But the fact that a running back nowadays, you rarely get a chance to see those guys going in the top 10. I mean, that's obviously true. When you think about Zeke. Zeke goes number 4 to the Cowboys. I mean, think about like how instrumental in that offense he was for so many years. So I don't really subscribe to this idea that running backs are not worthy of top picks. It's probably not the smartest move. Like I wouldn't take Bijan over Paris Johnson myself. Right. Looking at that offense and what they have to get done, and the fact that you've invested so much in Justin Fields and how dynamic he can be, to give that guy an offensive line that could give him a time to go through 3 or 4 different reads, man, and then be able to run, and I'd invest my money in that direction. And honestly, the Bears for a really long time as a franchise, for the players, they really had a really bad reputation. But I have to admit, man, over the last 10 years, like, they've done such a great job of outreach. I've been back 3 or 4 times, and there's a feeling that the guys that help build this franchise are part of a family and part of a really select group of guys that really did something special. And it really does seem like the Bears are starting to kind of see and feel and understand that. And I think it'll only be magnified now by bringing Keven into the fold.
You're on the air, baby. You're on. You did it. You made it.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Here we
go.
Trading up 100.
Yes!
What?
Here it is! Or just recording.
The tape never lies.
All the people drop off, but we still keep rocking.
You'll never know how good your football team's going to be until you play with maximum effort.
Keeping it 100.
Open competition. Take over the North and never give it back.
Smartest man.
My Chicago Bears select Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man and Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keeping it 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the freaking anchor, forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shayne's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shayne got some haters. But now them out stuck like the now and laters. Debaters, frauds get kicked like Coach Taver. Cuts had to be made, we added the barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks trolling like a full drum texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shayne. We do when we're breaking down the Bears. Fuck a play or a captain, all of the unchairs. The tape never lies. The truth, you see, we laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a sad nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like Trick Sat. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man and Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Justin Fields gets outside the pocket, puts that ball perfectly where only Mooney can get it. 1
Keeping it 100.
2 feet.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100, baby.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Birds never lie.
Yeah, exactly.
This is Claudio the Barber, and this is TTNL's Keeping It 100, the best Bears show on the planet, bar none. Listen, tonight we got a special show. We got the most important people to ever come on this show. You, the fans, the ones that make it happen. So let's bring on the boys. Shayne, the smartest man.
Yo.
Claude,
I just got off the phone. My fucking bank evaporated.
Oh my God. That's right. I forgot to introduce the show, Keeping It Rubles. My bad.
Keeping It Rubles, as Claudio said. Free show.
What's up? Oh, shit. What's up, boys?
We start. Oh, I feel like we haven't been here in forever, man.
Yeah, that Monday show fucked us all up, right? You know, Yeah.
It really did. It felt like a long vacation from the show. I felt like Claudio's year was over.
I know. That's
Right.
I thought I was like, oh, this is it. I'm gonna go back until the draft at least.
We're gonna take a break after the draft. Oh my God, so much going on.
I know.
Yeah, just to think about we get so excited about the draft, but then doing what we do, that last pick, you're like, just make the fucking pick, Poles. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Trenton Gill last year, we got up out of there. A little over
Got
4.
out of there quick. I don't know much about Trenton Gill except he's a punter, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Real punt god. I remember saying that. He's the real punt.
Oh man,
He did a lot better than the other punt god. That's for sure. He got his ass booted.
He did. That's a scary story.
Yeah, it is.
He signed in Mexico for a day in some pro league in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then now he's whatever.
Yeah.
The punter from San Diego State.
Yeah. He's really keeping it ruples.
UConn. How about UConn?
I was gonna put that in the open.
Shout him out.
Shout out
Connecticut.
Please.
Is the stadium still standing? I saw you degenerates knocking your fucking doors in.
Yeah, they're arresting them though. They said they had folks around. They got videotape and they're arresting them. But you know what?
I don't know if Nancy Pelosi was anywhere around, but
Angelo was down there. He lost his phone charger.
I didn't even see, or know anything about that till tonight driving home, and they were talking about it on the radio. Like,
you didn't know that they won, or you didn't know about?
No, I watched the game.
Oh, okay.
I stayed up and watched the whole game.
Phil used to have a Khalid El Amin jersey. Back in the
Khalid,
day.
I did like El Amin. I did.
Former Bull.
Tate
got
George.
got drafted
George.
by the Bulls. Oh yeah.
People ask me, did you name him after Tate George? I was
No.
like, no.
It's John Tate, dumbasses.
John Tate out of BYU.
Yeah.
I can't
Big.
believe we're on the cusp, the precipice of the NFL draft. and
3
the
weeks.
Bears.
It'll be 3 weeks by the time this fucking show ends tonight. Right?
We haven't. I don't remember the Bears having a first round pick.
Yeah, well, yeah, you do. Come on, Justin Fields. That was pretty significant.
No, it's
But
been
yeah,
so long.
they've been few and far between. Well, you better get used to it because we got 2 of those bitches next year. It's gonna be real fun. Yeah.
Is Shayne chopping up on you, Claudio?
No.
It was like
No.
max headroom on me.
Oh, yeah,
like
I don't know.
click, click. Claudio was smooth, but
No.
it was weird.
It's good on my
Anyway, 2 next year, 1 this year, the 9th overall pick. It seems like the whole world is catching up to TTNL. All these bitch ass Twitter GMs, all these motherfuckers that were talking about this guy and that guy and Skaronsky. And here we are telling you, no. And if you're a patron, you know that. I'm sorry. I got to take laps because people can't even stomach shouting out TTNL on some of these shows. They can't. So I'm the guy that will have to do it with you fans that obviously aren't afraid to stand up to the truth. But it's sad because the tape never lies. That's the reality of the truth. They can go through their underwear Olympics all they want. That's just to check boxes. As you know, the stats can tell a different story as well. And if you're a patron, you got that full-on evidence of that.
Yeah.
I won't even say it because someone will steal it, even though their boy is putting I always forget the dude's name.
Claudio?
No.
Fernicola?
No.
What's this dude? I want to get a couple guys on the show that annoy the fuck out of me.
Oh.
Robert Schmitz. is one of them. I have no idea what tape you watch, what you look at, but I want to know because I really can't comprehend him. And the other guy, Shayne, I always ask you his name. What's his name?
I
Twitter,
don't know where he's at.
Windy City guy.
Oh, Jacob Infante?
Jacob Infante. This is your formal
Come on
invite
down.
from me.
They're on.
Next contestant.
They're both
I would
on.
love to talk to Jacob.
They're both on the JSN wagon.
Let's talk taking wide receivers. Let's look historically at taking wide receivers in the draft.
It's not even that. It's not even that so much for me, Phil. I mean, the historical
not that for me.
Is the historical that data
just
is important.
Their data thing for me. If the guy was
there's
go ahead.
Guys at a massive position of need staring you right straight in the face. I mean, that's gonna make. I always laugh because they're like, I'm not talking about Jacob or Robert specifically here, but people that are all on board with JSN. And they're like, he's a playmaker. He's going to make plays for your quarterback. Well, an elite offensive tackle is going to give your quarterback the ability to make plays. He's pretty good when you give him time. I just don't know why people are. I don't understand how people.
That's the difference, Shayne. Thank you. I'm sorry. I've been waiting to vent about this because I'm not on Twitter and Ryan Cox likes to stick these daggers into me with these tweets that they send out. And I'm like, what world are we fucking in? Like week 8 last year, your offensive line sucks. Like you can't block, you can't protect. And everybody is having an opinion on Justin Fields, right? And Justin's fucking run. He can't run. This ain't going to hold up. Well, guess how the fuck you get it? It ain't a 3-step game to JSN. That ain't going to happen because you know what? Your GM fucking traded for a receiver twice. You have 2 wide receivers. If this GM goes up to the fucking podium and says, the 9th pick, the Chicago Bears select JSN, I will go on CNN and fucking lose my mind. It's the biggest asinine thing, and I don't want to take away from any of the fans because if you're coming on here tonight, I don't know where you are with number 9. I'm not trying to sway anybody, but again, this is our show, and I got to keep it 100. That is the dumbest thing the Chicago Bears have done since trading for Rick Meyer. That's how bad. It's just like Shayne said. There's 2 areas of need that matches up elite talent. I'm talking the tape never lies is going to show you there's 3 tackles that could go in there, and they're better than all of our offensive line. But let's pass them up and take a fucking receiver that's going to catch 28 balls and 3 touchdowns. That's going to help you? Fuck out of here. Save that shit for the fucking PFF show because it just doesn't work in the NFL. Receiver, you traded for 2. You got Darnell Mooney, right? You're building momentum. DJ Moore,
And
we're all excited about that.
Tanyan's
right?
a great pass catcher.
Who?
Tanyan. We picked up another pass
picked up
catcher.
Tanyan.
He's a
Tanyan
good
has
pass catcher.
amazing hands.
Yeah.
All right.
Blocking, not so much.
Blocking, but again, he ain't
So
coming
you brought him in to catch balls. So
Oh,
he's like
yeah.
another
He
receiver.
does have
obviously.
great hands. If you
Yeah.
watch, if you're a patron, we broke Tanyan down.
Yeah,
He's
and that's
not a
the-
hip skip and a jumper like
But
Komet.
to your point,
driving
you know,
the
they brought in guys to catch the ball already. So
exactly.
Yeah, I see some in the chat. Somebody had asked about going Bijan and a trade down. No. People asking about corner. No. Can't.
There's
and
2.
not that I don't like those players. Bijan is clearly running back 1. I mean, I don't know how anybody could not have him there. Excellent running back, but you can't do that if you're.
That's fucking Jerry Angelo. Like, you got to grow up from the days of the past. You can't sit here and say running backs aren't getting paid. David Montgomery gets whatever from Detroit, leaves. Best of luck. Everyone knows how I felt about him. But the running back position is easy. Now you're going to take one in the first? Is that, you guys are talking heads out of your ass. That's why these great fans come and live for this network. Because of the truth. I used to just laugh and think this is like a joke. People follow this shit and like it and retweet it as if it's fucking smart. And then they forget that asshole's the one who said it. And you still love this guy. And you hate Phil and Shayne because they swear. They're so emotional. They're debating.
They must really fucking hate me.
No, I don't know. They might hate me more than you, man.
I don't know. I fuck their mothers too, but and I swear.
I just want to finish this point. There's 3 offensive tackles because Skoronski, I will show you, could play guard or tackle. He's versatile, but he's not where I want him. If you're a patron, you're gonna want to tune in this Saturday to see that.
Phil, he's not in my top 4 offensive tackles.
Oh, really?
Skoronski, no.
Because he's a guard. He's your number 1 guard.
Yeah, I have guys that I simply have guys that I like better. I mean, the first 3 are
he's
pretty
not in my top
obvious.
4.
Yeah.
Shayne and I have our top players at every offensive position. We're going to release that this week on Patreon.
To the patrons, yeah.
To the patrons. We'll let that out next week for you normies. I'm kidding. But the reality is you got 3 that are elite level and you're there at 9. The decision now is, do you take a trade down, identifying that the possibility of where you drop to, you will still get one of those or 4. I have 6 guys that I could say offensive line and defensive line are going to be okay.
I think trade down's 100% in play.
Right.
I do for them. It just depends. Yeah, obviously, it's nothing that's going to be consummated previous to the draft. It's going to be consummated while you're on the clock. But no, I could fully see these guys
it's totally going to be
moving
while
down.
They're on the clock.
Yeah,
or they take their guy there. That's how it's going to happen. And
listen, it's all going to be how you have these. It's going to come down to how they have them separated. The Bears last year got multiple offers for where they drafted the safety out of Penn State. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
Brisker, my boy.
Brisker, yeah.
Quan Brisker.
They had multiple teams call to move into that spot, and they valued him enough to sit and not move. So, yeah, I think it's going to be completely in play. Depending on, where Levis goes, it's going to be interesting. Depending on what happens to Jalen Carter. You can say right, wrong, or indifferent how you feel about him. I think his floor, where I don't think he's going to fall, I think Philadelphia would sprint to the podium if he fell to 10. I honestly think that they would. So does a team that's eyeballing him saying, hey, we don't have to give up too much, could we flip one spot ahead of Philly to get him? Does a team like Tampa or Washington come calling if Will Levis is on the board? And the benefit of that is you get down in that territory of Tampa, you're essentially looking at the Justin Fields deal, what we moved with the Giants. We went from
Tampa
20 to 11.
19?
Tampa's 19. So 19 to 9, and we were at 20 and went to 11.
I traded that. I did make the trade in the mock that I did with Tampa.
But I mean, you make a move like that and you're getting a 2024 first rounder. Then next year, I mean,
you have 3.
You have 3 ones.
Yeah. The Bears have never had 3 1s that I can remember.
And then
2
everybody
1s twice, 3 times.
Everybody would be like, we could take the top 3 running backs available, draft Dr. Phil. Never stop us.
There's a reason why I got the name Draft Dr. Phil, and it wasn't for my cap analysis. It was for my tape analysis because I'm passionate about guys that I don't know but show on the tape. So thank you, Chris Rabideau and Horror Show for the best Bears show on the planet. And that's right. I've been scouting these other shows. That's what I did in our time off. And I'm like, hey, good for them. I don't get it. But some people liked, what is it? Regurgitated bullshit. I'm just not that guy. So God bless you.
There's a lot of that.
A lot of
surface level. There's a lot of that surface level fandom out there, and some people covet it. You're never going to get that here, and that's why we aren't for everybody. I always have to laugh. We talk about our YouTube comments or comments that people leave for us, but the negative ones always start out the same way. Oh,
I love you guys.
Been with you guys since the beginning. Love you guys so much, but
that intro is so fucking long.
Yeah.
3-hour show is a long show.
You guys aren't growing the way that I feel like you should be. All right, cool. Thanks. See my face?
That's what my dad said.
This is me telling you I don't give a fuck.
I thought I was going to be 6 foot.
Yeah. That worked out.
That didn't work out. I would have been a quarterback at Penn State.
Yeah.
Fuck. 6'1" was my dream, Tony. See you in the green room.
The next Christian
6'1"
Hackenberg over there.
I was thinking more in the lines of Drew Brees, a more athletic Drew Brees. Because what was Drew Brees' 40 time? Ivan. Is Ivan there? No.
Nah, he's handling some family obligations.
So Claudio might have to do some producing. All the producers left us tonight. So Claude, you're gonna have to step up.
You want me to check out Brees 40 time, really?
4.83.
Was it?
Yeah, 4.83. So that's much faster than Draft Doctor Slow Ass over there.
I ran a 4.56, and I'm proud of it.
That's downhill. I've seen that field, that Phil Toshin Senior field. It should be having a slant.
That was run on Nassau Community College turf over there. In Nassau Coliseum. They took us over to run 40s. Hey, 4.8. I beat him. I wish I was as tall and had as much money as him, but all the best to the former Purdue Boilermaker. One of my favorite receivers in this draft, Shawn, is from Purdue, and his name is Charlie, like the chocolate factory. Except he's like a catching factory.
I saw him live, up close and personal, and he was destroying people in Syracuse this year. It was nuts.
He's a different breed. That's why I would absolutely die a million deaths. It would be like a kung fu movie, watching Ryan Poles take a corner or a wide receiver at 9 after all this work of watching this tape.
Now, so before we move on with our with our guests here, so pick one of those positions that if it had to be a corner or wide receiver, I would go corner the way that I have them.
Yeah, because the ranking of my board, the corner outranked the receiver.
Yeah, and
JSN isn't even my number 1 receiver.
Yeah,
it's Zay Flowers.
Yeah,
so,
but that's the thing. And I mean, these there's a corner there.
One of my ones.
Yeah, I think you've shared that a couple of times.
Yeah, I
But wait, short wide receivers Phil's favorite. Shocker.
I was a big Calvin Johnson fan. Come on.
Yeah.
Randy Moss.
Oh,
I just go by the tape.
most pissed off I've ever been in an NFL draft in my life. Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Bears took Curtis. Yep, I was so mad.
Mine was fucking Leonard Floyd draft.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so pissed. So I thought we traded up for Laramie Tunsil. I said it, I think 2 weeks ago, talking to Lauren Cox. I was like strutting.
Yeah.
I was doing the ditty? What is it? The gritty. I was doing the gritty before the gritty. I was like, we're getting Tunsil. Like, I can't believe it, Steph. We're getting a left tackle finally.
Whoops.
No. Whoops. He probably would have moved him to right guard anyway. Right,
Yeah.
Mike?
Welcome to Chicago.
Let's move him to right guard.
Have you ever snapped the football, Laramie?
Laramie, can you play guard? Jesus Christ. We would get it fucking Anthony Munoz over here. Anthony, what's your right guard game like?
Yeah.
Well, I could play left guard, maybe. Fuck.
All right.
Let's do this now. We had some fun. I had a mini rant. But
Yeah.
tonight, we are doing something special. We're going to bring you the voice, the fan, the fanatic, the TTNL fan. And I know a lot of the big wigs as we get them as guests coming on this show. I hate the people that pretend they don't know us.
Should we make fun of Caesar for the worst fucking spelling ever
I don't know.
a Bears draft pick?
Shayne.
Jesus Christ, Caesar.
McLennan.
Yeah,
McLennan.
That's probably the worst fucking spelling I've ever seen in my life. So that definitely is something to be proud of, Caesar.
Jerome,
poor Caesar.
Argue with you. What was I saying? I had a perfect flow, and now
you're about to shout out all the fans. And
oh yes, I know some of the big wigs that are guests on here, like David Keepin It Classy Kaplan, always, and Adam Rank, and you, Kenneth Davis, Dion Miller. We can go down the lines that my girl Courtney Cronin, always promoting our stuff here, and real recognizes real. So when you see the haters, you know the haters. Our fans that are amazing, that stand true and share and become patrons and understand that it's a family and there's pride in the work that you do for the truth and showing people. I mean, that was the whole thing, the whole premise for me. I was just tired of those guys. And now I'm not on Twitter and I'm not doing that stuff, so I don't see it. Thank you, Ryan Cox. And then I see it and it gets me so fired up that we're misleading people that don't know TTNL and don't know that this exists. So there's a kid that's 14 years old and he believes the Bears should take a wide receiver at 9. And this is why. And it's just disappointing. And that's where I say, Shayne actually had the great idea of saying, why don't we do a show and bring on some of our patrons that support us, that have been with us the whole time, that debate with us and laugh with us, cry with us, yell at us, whatever they do. That's part of it that's so important to both of us and the entirety of the network. Christ, I met half the people. Ron G, Cherie, Caden Whitlow, Cool Kennedy, everybody, Ivan Vargas, as a fan of our show and our network, and now they're a part of the network. Bratcher, I know, is bingoing it up tonight, but he was also a fan of the network too. I hope he's winning tonight. Let's bring these guys out. Shall we bring them one at a time? How are we doing this?
I think we'll bring one out. Bring them out. I don't give a fuck. Whatever you think. Bring them all out. Fuck it.
Bring them all out. Just keep it classy, guys. I mean, this is a classy show.
Yeah, Cody Hahn, put your fucking shirt on. Jesus Christ.
Well, the first guy that was tailgating in the the green room, eating all the fucking shrimp cocktail.
Giving us financial advice.
Financial advice. Let's bring him out. Mike, are we allowed to give your government name?
Yeah, sure.
It's there, so
there he is, Mikey Salerno, right? Salerno.
Yep.
I don't have
Good
my
evening,
reading
gentlemen.
glasses. How you doing, bro?
I'm living the dream right now.
You're living the dream.
With a dope jersey. Beautiful
got
jersey
his
you got.
Shane McClellan jersey on.
Yeah.
Say McLemon.
Since 93, I've
You
had
could
it.
see that thing has been worn to many of a game, many of a
battle-tested.
tailgate. Yes, it's bad. You probably played some Thanksgiving flag in it.
Oh, worse than that. No, this is my armor.
Yes.
We go to war with this.
Oh,
I came into the green room and Mike was talking. The first words I heard out of his mouth were, you know, you got Parky and then the double doink. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Shane's like, what the fuck did I come into? So yeah, Mike, a little bit about you, how you found us, and how long you've been watching it. What's the story here?
Okay, so I got some years on me. I was born in 1977. Be that as it may, I didn't start watching
Phil
the Bears.
and I are older than you. You're fine.
Yeah, we're
No,
you're
the
good.
point I'm making is I didn't start watching the Bears till after the '85 season. As I was talking in the green room, it started with Tecmo Bowl and colors. I was like, okay, I'm just starting to learn football, and here's a video game, the greatest teacher of all. And all right, I'm getting it. You know what? I like the dark colors. So I started playing with the Bears. And then it's like, all right, well, this is how you score. You either pass or run. It's like, wow, this guy, Walter Payton, he's like really fucking fast. And then it's just, what's it like in real life? Holy shit. And I've been hooked ever since, man.
Where are you from?
Shaolin, New York.
I could see there's a little
All right.
Paisan
Where's that, New York?
Italiano over here.
Where in New York?
Staten Island.
Oh, Staten Island. Nice. Oh,
Wu
nice.
Tang. You ever hear of them,
Wu-Tang.
Claudio?
Oh, yeah.
Shaolin.
Wu Tang. Wu Tang.
Cream.
Phil, real
It should
quick,
be
I know
Ruples now.
I don't want to step on Mike's toes, but I know Cody is at work and he's doing
is
this
he?
on his break. Yeah, so I don't want to.
Oh, you got to get Cody in here then.
Bring him out here too.
You produced a special intro for him. Hold
Yeah,
on.
and then I deleted it. Yep.
No.
Yo,
There he is.
What's up, Cody?
nothing much. How you guys doing? I'm pumped to be here, man.
We're pumped to have you. You're on your work break, getting involved
Yeah.
here.
Yep. Talk to my boss. We're really slow. We sell construction materials and it's still cold as shit. So they even let me go early on my break and everything. And yeah,
Nice.
just stoked to be here.
You guys
Where are
sell a
you
lot of
from?
construction materials at 9 o'clock at night?
Well, I load trucks. They go out tomorrow.
Oh, they're delivering. So you're
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
warehouse.
Yeah.
I got you. So let me ask you this. Where are you from?
Oh, well, just the greatest state of Iowa, you know.
Oh,
Iowa.
Iowa.
Yeah. Been listening to you guys. Started at the old network. Probably, God, I want to say it was the year Montgomery was drafted because I was a huge fan of his too. Just
2019.
mainly because he's from Iowa. Yep. It was around 2019 because that was when COVID all started and all that shit show. So yeah, been a pretty loyal follower for a long time. It's funny, in the beginning I'd listen and Phil would go off about Matt Nagy and I'd sit there and kind of be like, well, I don't know, man. Look at the record, you know. And now anymore these days, it's like everything you guys say, it's hard to disagree. So, I mean, it just kind of shows how much you guys have educated me, if you will, from just being a base fan, watching, you know, just the ball fly through the air to watching the trenches more when the game's playing, stuff like that.
Utmost compliment that you can give, man. I appreciate the vulnerability because a lot of people take pride. I know this motherfucking game better than, and it's, you know, people in private are able to say that. So it really means a lot to me personally. I know I can't speak for Shayne, But for me, I just want to say it to your face that means a lot. That
absolutely,
because that's the most important thing that inspired me to do the tape breakdowns, because there was so many. Just think, if you love something, whatever it is, and I love the story that Mike shared of how he found football and the Bears, just based on that vulnerability of truth is important to me. So, but if I love something and I know it backwards and forwards, and I'm watching it, and there's professionals out there that have a job that are getting paid, and they're just regurgitating bullshit, it infuriates me. It does. It just infuriates me. So that inspired, I got to do this. And unfortunately, I was able to meet a lot of people along the way to help me with the technical side of things, because I didn't really know, how am I going to do this? Because I started with a finger pointing at things. Remember, Shayne, on Twitter?
Clip that, Claude.
But it was my finger. I still remember the Bears blog, me and him battling over something about audibling at the goal line, and he said that's some crazy word. I'll just say malarkey. They don't need to do that. I'm like, you don't know football, bro. If there's 9 in the box and they've overloaded one side, and you could say green to go left and score, that's a huge thing. And we were battling, and he goes, well, I love your breakdowns, but that finger, fingers, I always stuck with me. Like, fuck this finger. I'm going to figure it out. It's just so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah. Started with the finger.
Context.
So, Cody, I got to ask you.
Thank you.
Are you a big Hawkeyes fan?
You know, when it comes to college ball, I've never paid that much attention. With where I live and everything, everyone's big into the Hawkeyes. You rarely hear anything about the Cyclones. But yeah, normally anyone else around here that's into football, I mean, we don't have really any professional sports, so it's Hawkeyes are pretty much nothing, you know, as far as like a state team to follow. But you know, for whatever reason, I never really got into
train tracks, are you?
No.
All right, so
No.
I see you get hit.
No, I left, went a couple blocks away from work and parked at a car wash, man. But yeah, I just never got too into watching college football for one reason or another. So,
well, my next question was going to be your thoughts on Lucas Van Ness.
I want Van Ness, man. Big part of it is, he's from Iowa, you know, and that was a big part of why I started liking Montgomery in the beginning. But you know, after seeing you guys' breakdown of him, and I forget, Double A, we'll call him Double A, you broke him down the same day. I mean, Van Ness looks like a fucking animal, you know. He just, it's crazy. I would love to see them draft him, but you know, it's hard telling what they're gonna do, because it's like you guys said that same day, if it's between like an edge or a 3-tech and offensive line, I'm pretty sure you guys said you almost have to go O-line, just because you can find a guy like Van Ness later.
Phil said that. Phil, that was Phil.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I can find a guy like Van Ness later, but there's 2 offensive linemen that I would take over top of Lucas Van Ness, but he's in my top 3 for no reason,
Van Ness.
For sure.
I've taken Van Ness in 3 mock drafts, and I don't do mock drafts until this year.
There's just
because
so much upside with him. Oh man,
because of the tackles. And I want to see, if you took Van Ness, you're now waiting at 53. If you had that 32 pick, which is technically was 33, if you had that pick, then it would be a hell of a lot easier to kind of focus on a defensive lineman there. But I feel like there's 3 special tackles. And again, I'm going to break them down. We're going to be breaking down tomorrow night on our Patron the whole Ohio State offensive line. Look at this. Jones, Whippler, and Johnson on Draft Mob tomorrow night. I'll just use it as a promo. And there's two guys in there that I have higher rated than Northwestern.
And speaking of that,
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking news.
I think it's very important for me to point this out.
Yes.
Phil probably doesn't know where I'm going with this, but as soon as I get into it a little bit, he'll know. So we're going to be breaking these guys down tomorrow night on our Patron. Along with our Patron comes a $7 a month charge. We had somebody recently sign up for the TTNL Network Patron and quit it when they're like, well, what the fuck? I didn't know I was getting charged for this. Nobody ever told me that. Like,
I told Chris Zorich that.
That's the way that works. So, yes, if you're going to become a TTNL Network patron, you're going to get charged $7 a month. Genius.
It's the equivalent. It's actually less than 2 Dunkin' Donuts large coffees. So for you,
I mean,
and your husband,
Salerno paid $7 for that fucking jersey he's got on.
Yeah, but that was 1993.
Yeah, it's
1993.
It's vintage.
1993. Let's bring in our next guest. I was able to meet this guy at the TTNL tailgate down in Chicago, hanging out with Fat First and 10 tailgate. Shout out to those guys. I think we'll be back at some point next year. I'm looking forward to it, as long as the dollar stays strong, Shayne.
We might have to head over to Germany for the Kansas City game.
Kansas City and DC Hans. Where the fuck is Hans? Anyway, miss you, Hans. Let's bring out our guy Shawn Steward. There he is, Big Shawn.
Hey, what's going on?
In the man cave, Shawn.
Got that right, yep. How's it going?
We're not even going to make fun of you for having a fucking hockey jersey back there.
There's a White Sox one over there too somewhere. You can't see it though.
I love it, man. You're in the man cave. I heard a little bit of your story when I was at the tailgate, but there were so many TTNL fans there. Talk to us a little bit. How did you find us and get a part of this family here?
Well, I think I first came across some of your videos after, I think it was the second to last season with Nagy as coach. I was just infuriated with that regime, and I couldn't understand why they'd want to keep him another year. And I just was looking online for just analysis on it. And I think I came across your videos talking about how, he was a shoe salesman and all that stuff. And that just hooked me because I felt all the same way. And I just couldn't believe they were still keeping him. He just was just over the top, just incompetent. So I saw your videos, started watching, and then I became a Patreon supporter pretty soon after that, and just love all the shows you guys put on, and it's just been a blast.
Were you shocked when you found out there was a $7 charge to be a patron, Shawn?
I mean, it's not like it's obvious right in front of your face when you choose what plane you
right.
for, and you have to put your credit card. It's kind of
right.
Yeah.
You mean I had to put my credit card info here? I didn't know you were gonna fucking charge it.
Come on now.
Context of this is Shayne texted me tonight as I was setting up for the show a screenshot of a person's DM or whatever it is.
Well, when they cancel their account, they do an exit survey.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So some of them are absolutely ridiculous. Some of them are funny. Some of them are people are just struggling financially, and they'll be back in a couple of months, which is, we understand.
Yeah.
Completely fine. But then I saw that, and he's like, I want to be completely refunded all my money. Nobody told me you were going to charge me for this to watch this stuff. I'm like,
no, we're very economical, my family.
What's more economical than free, right?
I thought you were free.
Yeah.
Oh, God. My wife was complaining about how many hours I put into it. This guy wants everything for free. I'm like, listen, we got to do what we got to do, right, Angelo, to get the truth out there. Shawn, I know. What are you, 6'5", 6'6"?
6'4".
6'4". So you and Shayne are about the same height, same size.
Yeah,
you guys could be my tackles.
There you go. I'm definitely not 6'4".
flag football.
He's more cars. Cars is up.
You're not 6'4"?
No.
Damn.
No. I'm closer to 6'3". Like
everybody looks that tall when you're Phil's height.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the show.
It feels like good morning, Tate and Devin.
I know I'm short, right?
Yeah.
Well-timed drop. Whoever did that. Is it Jackal? I see Jackal made it tonight.
Yeah, he's
unbelievable. We're gonna bring everybody out. Let's bring out our last guy. I don't want to keep him. I know he's had like 3 cigarettes since he's, or he might be something else he's smoking. I don't know. Let's bring him out. Tony Padgett. Is that how we say it, Tony?
You got it. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
All right,
Thanks.
perfect.
Welcome to TTNL's Keeping It 100. The whole crew is now here. Tony, where are you from?
I'm from west suburbs of Chicago.
Nice.
Woodridge. Call it Hoodridge.
Hoodridge. Shawn, where are you from, Shawn?
I'm in the south suburbs of Chicago.
So south suburbs, west suburbs, Staten Island, and
Iowa.
Iowa.
I'm actually in Tampa now.
Oh, are you? You're on vacation.
Nah, it's where I live now.
Oh,
I'm
you
just
moved
from
to
Chicago.
Oh.
Okay. So now you're in Tampa. That's what I want to know, Tony. Where are you? Are you
I rep Chicago.
originally
Sorry.
from Chicago?
How long have you been in Tampa?
07.
Oh wow. You've been there a while. You
15
like it
years
down
old,
there?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm in like Clearwater area, so it's like very touristy and beaches and stuff like that. So it's cool.
Don't
I mean, it's
complain.
like 78 degrees right now in my house.
Exactly.
I'm like, a little hot. So
Tony's like, it's fucking 78. It's fucking freezing out here today.
Yeah, you've lived in Tampa long. If 78 is cold, imagine that. Going back to Chicago, you're like free. My wife was complaining. I'm like, this is easy weather. It's 48.
every time I go home, it's like
freezing.
Christmas and it's blizzards every time. Everyone's like, don't come. When you come, it snows.
That's what usually happens. Well, you're all here tonight. We're going to get into this discussion and some of your thoughts. Obviously, I went on a mini rant. You guys follow the show, so you know exactly where we are, but where we're thinking, we've shared it. I believe what I believe the best would be for the Bears to probably select one of those offensive tackles or defensive linemen, if that's really where you want to go, and come back in that second round focused on the all-line. I just think they've taken it way. I mean, you look at what Ryan Pace did for years, just ignore the offensive line for years and would try to pick 5th, 6th rounder, 7th round, Tayo Fabulage and the whole crew, and try to bring in these veterans. The Bears have 2 assistant GM and the GM, both offensive linemen. Big troubles protecting Justin Fields. You see the story here. I always laugh at best player available. That's what the Bears aren't in position to pick best player available, and 90% of the NFL doesn't do it like that. What they do is somehow figure out a way to get the best player available at a position of need. And that's really where the Bears
unless it's just holy shit.
Yeah.
Can't believe this guy. Like,
if Will Anderson fell to 9, that would be an example of you got to take him.
Yeah, we pour the cocaine on the fucking desk and start snorting it live on air. And it's a party on TTNL.
That would be an example of you saying, okay.
Yeah.
And that must have been amazing for the Vikings to have Randy Moss fall into their lap, or Tampa have Warren Sapp. That's where we start here. The Jalen Carter situation, Mike. Your feelings up there, Jalen Carter, falls to 9. Are you with Shayne and I that you just can't take him, or is it, how are you feeling?
No. I feel like that. No, we do not take him because I think he might be a potential problem down the line.
Right.
It just there's something to be said. Okay, I get it. You're the best, so you don't have to go with the other sheep to the combine and strut your stuff. You're that good. Just to come in overweight, unprepared, and handpick the drills that no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do what I want and not even finish. That's just a giant red flag for me. Not including everything prior to that with unfortunate car accident. Too many red flags. It might be the next Warren stat, but I think we have bigger positions of need.
So you got anybody differing than that in regards to Jalen? Is there intrigue for any of you guys?
Don't be scared if you have a difference of opinion. That's what it's all
That's
about.
what this show's all about.
You just can't. You can't take him, man. Like a pro date's set up for you to do nothing but shine, you know.
Right,
and he didn't even take that serious. Like there's just no shot in hell. And it's like you kind of alluded to. Other than Justin Fields, I mean, last several years we've been super limited in that first round. So whether they trade down or not, it's almost like it's a must-hit situation. They have to hit it. It can't be somebody that doesn't hit.
He could be a Trojan horse for us. We should hope Detroit takes him and he just flubs there. And it's like, yes. Because right now, that's the only team I'm locked in on in our division. Guys, it's a glorious new era. Green Bay is going to suck for the first time. I don't know what to do.
I think Carter's going to go either 5 or 6.
You really do?
Yeah, I do.
I do
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Wow.
I can easily see Seattle. That's just, it's got
I'm
Seattle
trying to
written
think
all
of
over it.
a player, Shayne, that has Jalen Carter's talent with this kind of controversy surrounding pre-draft that still went high. Like if Tunsil fell with all of that talent because of the marijuana stuff.
Travesty.
Well, I think what hurt him more than anything, it was
5 minutes before the start.
The draft started, it was live, and then as a general manager, you're like, what's going to come out in 10 minutes? Right. You know what I mean? What video is next?
Oh, yeah.
So there's that aspect of it. And there's, Lauren Cox talked about it on our airwaves here, and knowing people down at UGA, that there was a lot of effort put in to getting him motivated to take practice serious every day, to put in the effort. And the talent itself is unquestionable when the switch is on. When the kid is motivated to go out there and dominate, he's the number 1 pick in the draft if he's motivated. I can't go there if I have questions about your love of football, your decision-making off of the field. If you were 1 player away, like Philadelphia, he makes more sense with Philadelphia. They're more of an established team. It's like the running back debate, kind of, to me. If you're ready to contend and you're a Super Bowl contender, sure, I think you could take that luxury. I think you can take that chance. And the big thing with Jalen Carter is also, I'm interested. Let's say he gets past Seattle. Let's say he gets past Detroit. I don't think he will. I look at what Atlanta just did, bringing in Calais Campbell, and they're a rebuilding team. They're a young team. Did they bring him in for a reason? Drew Rosenhaus came out and said that there's a team in the top 10 that has told them that they will take him if he is there. Is that team Atlanta? Who is the mentor in Chicago that's going to be with this kid, that's going to motivate him all the time, that's going to show him the ins and outs? Is it going to be Justin Jones? No, I don't think so. I mean, who else?
DeMarcus Walker. He's got a big personality coming over from the Titan. He's kind of floated around. He had a disappointing label on him, and now he's kind of reborn. That would be the only thing. But
but you look at Philly. You have Fletcher Cox there. You have Brandon Graham there. You have Josh Sweat, who is a veteran in this league.
Much
you have
better
guys that have been through it all, really, I mean, made their Super Bowl run. Chicago doesn't have that. And I mean, that is a big part of it. Jalen has been here with his visit. They've sat down with him. It's going to be interesting to see if they uncovered anything there. But the pro day stuff really
what about Big Andrew
bothered
Billings?
me. Well,
I forgot about. We just broke him down. I'm very impressed.
He's a veteran, but I'm talking about, Fletcher Cox is a was an
Bowl.
all-pro in his day. He's been, he's been around. He's been in the league since 2012, I think they drafted him. So he's been here or been in the league for a long time, and he's been through all the wars. So not that Billings isn't a great vet to have around, but is he that mentor guy? Maybe. I guess I don't know him well enough, but looking at his pro day, man, that bothered me. That bothered me a lot, because we broke it down for our patrons and showed you that there was questions on the field, not just off the field, where you're like, man, what? You're not engaged at all. And how
he would never ever be drafted by me, number one, based on his tape.
Yeah.
Will Anderson all day, every day over him. That's before the trouble and the pro day. So now you got 3 strikes. And let's all be honest. You've all gone to high school and you've seen the talented athlete get kind of a brush on the shoulder, slap on the wrist when they're acting a fool, immature, don't study, or whatever. They get suspended, but they're still. We see this all the time, unfortunately. There's no consequences. And sometimes players like this that show up on tape, for me, there's definitely amazing talent. But if you don't love the game, it's never gonna happen. No matter what anyone tries to tell me. Warren Sapp, there was no question. The motherfucker was a competitor. He was a dick. He is probably a prick, pain in the ass. But God, he was a competitor, right? He was a competitor.
Everybody that's met him.
I've met him too.
Yeah.
I told the story. He grabbed my Bears hat, threw it down on the ground, and stepped on it. And I'm like, Kerry Collins was coming out of Penn State at the time. Turned on like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, you want to be next? And kept walking away. And I'm like,
like nobody has a good snap story.
Shayne's boy was there, Rashawn Salam.
Yep.
And Salam was like, he didn't know he was going to be drafted by the Bears, and neither did I. And he was like, just shook his head. I'll never forget it. And Kerry Collins is like, what a piece of shit. And I never liked Sapp from that day on. Obviously, I would have forgiven him, Shawn, if he was a Bear.
Oh, for sure.
But he was totally he was a Tampa Bay Buck at that time. So anyway, but the talent versus the love, you got to have those two things, and that's why those interviews are so important. Ryan Poles, to his credit, besides any other GM, Ryan Pace included, that I've seen here, has been very transparent. I like the putt darts, kind of see the competitor in there in a slick way, and then talk about love of the game. Due diligence needed to happen with this kid. Maybe this is a wake-up call for you. An embarrassment. Your name's being dragged. You look sloppy. You're heavy breathing in a pro day. It should be a layup, like Cody said. I'm just not there. I can't risk the new era. You're trying to put together a team, and you got to worry about a superstar being mature, play hard, and then be 100% love of the game. Think about that position in the NFL. This ain't fucking Kentucky that you're going up against. This is the fucking NFL. They're going to down block you and fucking drive your rookie ass to the ground because they know you already have a weakness. Do you love the game, little bitch? Getting in your head. They're going to do anything in their power to stand out. So that's another thing you have to take into consideration with him. I think all of us are on the same page. I know Will, I believe, would still take him. A couple of our Bill would still take him. He's my kryptonite in this draft. I would not take him.
If he makes it to number 9, that's a red flag already, because, you could say if he did well in these interviews and the on-site visits that, maybe the Bears would consider it. But if he makes it past those 3 teams ahead of us, like, that's another red flag that if they didn't take him, there's another sign that, there's something there that they're avoiding him as well, because those teams would definitely jump on him if there were no red flags.
Who's that tackle that was all like super good and just got paid and quit? Hainsworth?
Albert Hainsworth.
Yeah, that was
Albert Washington.
Yeah, I compared him to them.
Dude, I'm seeing out of Jalen.
Yeah,
and there's the biggest thing is, like I said, what comes back to me is before the tragedy off the field, before the weight gain in between the combine and the pro day, we showed you guys on tape the concerns on the field. And that has nothing to do with sitting down with the kid or any of that. That's a mentality. That's a mentality that is hard to switch. And I'm not sure if it ever switches.
So does the hits philosophy help you?
That's what I'm saying. No, I think it's a slap in the face. You go out and you draft Jalen Carter at number 9, and then you're Matt Eberflus sitting down with your team, preaching hits philosophy. And listen, these guys aren't dumb. These guys know. They know the minute he gets on the field, if he's going to be taking it serious. These guys watch, not all of them. These guys watch college football. They know. They know the story on this kid. A lot of them do. If he's slacking off, I'm sure they know kids at Georgia that are connected to the program and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, we had to do everything we could do just to get this kid to participate in practice the way we want them to. And I mean, to his credit, I question the kid's love and desire to be the best if he loves the game. I've never had the ability to sit down with him, but it reminds me so much of Eddie Goldman. You guys have heard me say over and over again, he was the giant kid in 6th grade, and they're like, motherfucker, you're huge, you should play football. And he's like, okay. And that shows you how good he was. I just don't think it ever mattered to him. When you're drafting in the top 10, you're not drafting to be okay. You're drafting a guy that potentially you think could be wearing a yellow jacket at some point.
Should be the goal. And Garrick Bradley, you're 100% right. That's the part we don't know anything about. If anything is a testament to that, it's watching college basketball, ladies, men's, whatever you watch, and you see the temperament, the competitiveness, the mental health stuff affecting the game on all levels. We don't know. That's the job of your GM.
Yeah.
And the incident that occurred where you leave a scene is a huge red flag for me, especially I don't like distractions.
Lying about being there.
Lying about being there.
That, yeah.
I can
they
deal
supposedly
with
cleared that up. I don't know if you heard the reports on that.
Yeah,
but they said they followed up on it, and who's to say for sure? But they were saying that he stayed and answered all the questions and whatnot, and then that's why the whole thing got put away pretty easily.
And pled no contest, right, or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Richard Gordon. And that's why
even the like I said, the incident, and I don't even feel comfortable calling it an incident because it's a tragedy. 2 people lost their lives, and we've all been there. We've all been young, and if you're fortunate enough to have some discretionary income, and in Jalen Carter's case, he does. NIL has changed everything, and it's not just because of NIL, because there's plenty of college athletes pre-NIL that had plenty of cash at their disposal. But, driving fast in a car and making dumb decisions, you can't hold that. I mean, at the end of the day, they're 20, 21-year-old kid. They're going to make dumb decisions. That's part of it. But it's critical. I mean, I saw people on Twitter saying, why is Ryan Poles sitting down with this kid? It's a waste. No, you do your due diligence. You sit down with him.
You have to.
And you see, you may discover something and say, holy shit, there's a mental health issue here. And we feel comfortable that we can surround this kid with the support that he needs and we can unlock him. That's what these guys do. I mean, the Bears had their mental health coaches sit in with them for these combine interviews. And I don't know if all teams do that, but it's interesting to see when you hear that phrase due diligence. That's what Ryan Poles is doing. You have to sit down with this kid and talk to him because the talent,
the whole process. That's the point. You want to get the key indicators. In fact, we're going to have after the draft, we're going to have a famous body language expert doctor come on the show and watch some of the interviews and tell you whether or not Ryan Poles is lying. And he is an expert. I believe is Dr. Brown. He's world famous. Jim Larison actually is setting this up where he is a famous body language expert on truth and lies. So he'll give a little better scenario and synopsis, but there's going to be, we're going to pull some tape of Justin Fields and some of the other key indicators of maybe who they drafted first. Was it really their guy? Are they telling the truth? He'll be able to tell you that. So it'll be a lot of fun to see that. But these guys, as football men, sitting in front of them, having a conversation, you get to really know the player outside the money. There he is. And the reality of that stuff is very, very useful because of free agency. So say you sit down. It is useful,
but let me ask you guys this, Mike. I'll start with you, and Cody, you go next. We'll go right around the horn. Put yourself in Ryan Poles' shoes. You've seen everything, how it's amplified this offseason. He went through a draft last year. He's never had a first-round pick. He traded from number 1 down to number 9. Right. Are you going to hitch your wagon to a kid that's got multiple red flags and concerns with motivation and any questionable judgment off of the field? Is the talent going to override that? Are you willing to move forward with that as your first pick in the first round ever? And I think that's a big part of it.
No.
Cody?
Hell no.
Shawn?
No way.
I don't see any way Poles drafts him. I don't see it.
Tony?
Not the first mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not making that first mistake. Going for blue chip. That means Hall of Fame should be, right?
Yeah.
It's shameful. He should be in the Hall of Fame. He won't. He has an easier path than anyone else around him. His floor is high. His desire, he goes another 6 inches. And that's the difference between the great players. The will. Some get more tools, but Singletary, he wasn't the biggest guy on the field. He brought will, brought desire.
Yeah, what I wanted to say about Jalen and the whole racing thing, and this is right after they won the championship, right? Am I understanding the story correctly?
Yeah. They're back to back. They've won.
Yeah, right. And then suddenly, I get all big. Suddenly he's out driving real fast with his friends, and somebody makes a mistake and gets killed. And now we're all coming down on him like super hard. Now again, everybody's been saying it's pro day. You're fat. You're slow. You're not doing anything to make us believe that you want to be that pick. You just are that pick. You don't want to show anybody anything. But he's out partying, having a good time. He's driving something. I can't really hold that against him. I got a race motor sitting right here. You know what I'm saying? I was that kid, just like out there having fun, and if something happened, he was present, let it go.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's terrible. What happened is
it's
terrible. There's no doubt about
You
it.
can also be
But
on the corner and somebody gets shot.
right.
Just because you're there doesn't mean,
Well, it's a lot. It goes back to, I think Shayne said it, hell, I know what I was up to at 2021.
Exactly.
And, it wasn't really any good, to be honest with you. And that, I hate to put it that way, because people did lose their lives, but, it's got to be brought up. But for me, the pro day is, if it was just the legal stuff, I mean, you could make an argument, but once you throw in that pro day, because like I said, you're set up to shine, man, and you're just
the
sloppy.
First guy we broke down this draft offseason was Jalen Carter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And on Patron, we took, and again, just for those of you that haven't or don't know anything about Patron, I think we will open a future draft show because I want people to see this isn't a highlight breakdown like other shows and people that are kind of slick and swift with things using highlights to show and break down people. This is the all 22 coaches tape. And I say that because it's important that you see the right angle of what these men are dealing with and doing, because that's what they're going to be doing in the NFL. So anybody could watch a highlight tape. That's like your resume, right? The highlight tape will get you in the door. Like kids send their highlight tape to college scouting, recruiting, and so on and so forth. That gets you in the door. Then the sit down. Then they want to see your tape to get you in down to Penn State. Let me see his tape, not his highlights. Let me see his tape. And that's the reality of what. So when you go into Jalen's tape, that's where the big question marks arise, thus the network. So people can try to sell me. So when I believe it was Cody, right, that said, he kind of alluded to last week or our last draft mob, we broke down Van Ness and AA from Northwestern. And there's so much hype on Twitter with some of those guys I was taking shots at about AA from Northwestern, the defensive tackle, defensive end. They play him at D end. They play him at the 3 technique. You see some versatility. And then his numbers at the combine are outstanding, astonishing. No one's ever run a 40 that fast at 280 plus pounds. But when you pop in the tape, there's a whole different story. And that's what this network stands by, the truth. So every patron that watched that show that came in saying, oh, this guy is, oh, imagine if we were able to get this guy, left there saying, holy shit, I wouldn't take that guy at 9 ever. And that's the point of we're trying to give you the closest we possibly can. And trust me, the Bears love us, but probably hate us because of this, to give an educated look at this and not some regurgitated infante bullshit. And that's really where that's where I'm going with it. And I'm never going to stay away from calling out manipulation of truth and laziness and just being so, what do the Bears need? David Montgomery left. I would take a running back at 9. Like it's like, this is easy. That's just lazy. So when Shayne and I are sitting there for the past 30 something years, living and dying on these grown man Christmas days, and the Bears can't find their ass from their elbow with what their need is or what the best player was, and you live with that. It's just a tough time. And everybody, I don't know what Poles is in the first round. None of us do. This is the answer here.
But Danny, this comment that I'm putting up here, this is what we're talking about. No crash great pro day. No way he's even talked about at 9. The Bears take him might be Jack, but we're telling He's talking about Jalen
Jalen
Carter.
Carter.
You know, if there's no crash and
I
had a
got
great
you.
pro day, nobody.
Yeah.
But it's we've
That's
showed
exactly what
you-
happened.
Yeah, we've.
If I went to acting school and became a great actor, I would have the Academy Award.
Right.
Same thing.
I
It's
mean,
like, what are we doing here? Those things exist. That's the only thing you can go by. The tape.
and there's
is out
there's
there.
concerns on the field that we've
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the
we've
number
showed
one
you.
thing. Van
And
Ness.
the cons keep piling up. You know?
Van Ness is a better player on tape than Jalen Carter is. And that's the reality because he's consistent. Now, what Iowa did with him, you have to put into the perspective. He didn't even start, but you see a disrupting force, and that's where your scouting eye has to be there. Now, that's, if you clip that, Phil's saying this, but the context is if you're looking at it, you don't have to question Van Ness's love for the game. So if I was there and Jalen's there and Van Ness is there and I want a defensive lineman, right? And I need that. There's no doubt I'm strutting like I was thinking I was getting Tunsil for Van Ness because that is a kind of football player that you can build around. And 94% of Twitter GMs and podcasts will tell you the opposite. All I want to say is what I forget which one of you said it when I was calling out Matt Nagy. Those same people were calling us a fraud, and I never waver from my truth. Said what I said about David Montgomery, Leno, Mustafa, all of these things because the tape told me that, not that. Them as people, luckily I met a few of them. They could be great people, but the tape is all I care about in regards to this. And Jalen, to me, the reddest flag of them all is not the one flying at Georgia. It's his effort all the time. And if you're okay with that, then, and I think that's the equivalent of what Shayne is saying, get him around some adult men who hold him accountable, that are his peers, and you don't want to look shitty in front of your peers, then Jalen Carter's game will be. But we'll always stand by, hey, he went to the right spot and grew up and matured, but we were always in unison that we wouldn't take him because this culture isn't ready for that kind of byproduct right now. It just isn't.
I totally agree. But to move off of
Yes.
Jalen Carter, let's go around. Like I said, we want to find out what you guys' thoughts are. Now, Mike, if you're in a perfect world, well, I don't want to say perfect because then you'll say that you draft Will Anderson at number 9. But can you give me your top 3 players that you're hoping will be available at number 9?
I'm leaning towards Paris Johnson. I think that's who we should take. Anything if it's not him, I'm actually leaning. I call me a dreamer. I'm hoping for a trade down. Actually,
yeah.
Someone desperate.
Yeah.
If it's not Paris Johnson, I'm trading down. No one else. A kid Tyrese maybe, but I don't think he'll be around.
No, I don't think so.
Top 3. Follow the directive in
Paris Johnson, Tyrese, and
give me one more.
Bijan Robinson. No, I'm joking.
There don't say Bijan.
No, Paris Johnson trade down.
So I'll give you that. So Paris, Tyree, or trade down.
Yeah.
You're not in the Van Ness category. You're not. It's okay. I'm just trying to go by Shayne's rules.
The trade down is with the idea that we're trading with someone desperate. That someone's available.
How far are you going to trade down? So all of you, if you have that in your brain, give us that when you say it. So go ahead.
So much like Shayne mentioned before, when the Bears traded up with the Giants, something like that. We get a 1 next year. Yeah, I'll make that.
How far back? So you're at 9. Where would you be? 19 is your limit.
That's Tampa.
18, 19, yeah.
Would you ever go to 28 in that range?
Yeah.
I'm going to need more.
I don't want to hear from you, Anthony.
I would. I'd
Shayne would do it.
Oh, I'd 100% explore it. Yeah, you want to?
Really?
Oh hell yeah! You're gonna be paying for it. Yeah, you're damn right.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Cody Hahn, your top 3 there at 9.
I'd also go with Paris, Van Ness, and I'm anxious to see your guys' breakdown of Jones because you guys keep bringing him up. So I'm dying to see that. I know it. I was stoked to see that.
Tomorrow's going to be the Ohio State stuff. Shayne doesn't even know this. My dad, I think Big Steve Edwards is going to jump on with us.
Nice.
To talk about
break down offensive tackle. Offensive tackle.
All I'll say is about Broderick Jones, and he is definitely firmly entrenched in my top 3 for number 9. He is wildly athletic for an offensive lineman, to the point of you're like, it's hard to even fathom that this dude is built the way that he is. I mean, he's chiseled, he's yoked up. I mean, he's athletic to me on a level of Lane Johnson in Philly, the former tight end. And I'll say this, I have Paris Johnson as my number 1 offensive tackle. I've talked about this before, just a little bit over Broderick Jones. But on draft night, when the Bears are at number 9, if they do not trade down and both are available, I fully expect the Bears to draft Broderick Jones over Paris Johnson. I'll give you guys that nugget.
Phil Etoshin's number 1 offensive tackle. Actually, we got to use our guy's graphics, Shayne. Like, this dude put in a lot of work for these.
We're gonna
get
release
to
the
later.
graphics to the patrons. But
yeah,
Shawn, you got a top 3?
Well, one guy, I know you mentioned it before. I think Tyree Wilson in a few mocks has slipped down to 9. If he's there, I think they're going to run to the podium and grab him. That would be the one guy I see that might slip that they wouldn't want to trade down for. So he would be my number 1 if you count him. Otherwise, it's the trenches. Like, I got to see either. I like Broderick Jones a lot. Paris Johnson, I'm not upset with either of those guys. Or even Van Ness at that spot. Like, I would love to see him trade down a little bit to maybe the mid-teens and hopefully get a Van Ness still, or even like one of the other tackles that are still out there. But they gotta go for the trenches. That's still the right way to build, and that's what they've been preaching. And if they don't do that, it's going to be a little surprising to me.
So let me ask you this, Tony, before you go. Phil and I talked about this a little bit earlier. Could you guys pull the trigger on Darnell Wright at number 9?
No.
Why?
I don't think he has all the tools as a number 1 9. I think the trade down, if you can get in the second round in 40, 45, and what is it, like Washington's like 17-40, Tampa's 19 and 50, I think, something like that.
Yep.
If you can get in that range, you might be able to pick up that best offensive center of that second round pick. And you trade down to pick up something, any one of what I would put the 3 through 5 tackles that are out there. So DeJuan Jones.
Would you have DeJuan Jones higher than Darnell Wright?
With the trade down, yes.
Well, I'm talking about at 9, though.
Yeah, no, then not at 9. I would, if you're forcing me between those two, and we're in the war room and we got to choose, then I'm going with Darnell Wright. But he's left tackle, right?
Right, he's a right tackle.
Right tackle.
Oh, I thought he was left tackle. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Darnell's a right tackle.
When you trade down and you get the right tackle with Darnell, DeJuan or whatever his name is. Anyway, that's my philosophy. Is number 9's worth too much to fill. You can fill in a tackle and a center with the first round and second round picks, and then now you're only worried about your left or right tackle.
Right. Well, you have to.
Davis.
I mean, if we're gonna keep it 100 here, this is the way that it's always easy to say, well, fuck it, let's just trade down.
Oh yeah,
always
you gotta
takes
have a
two
trade
tango.
partner. Yeah,
Tampa's got to have a guy at number 9 or Washington or whoever it is that they can't live without. Because they're also thinking, I could take John Michael Schmitz with my pick. that I'd be giving away, you know. So I think that's the intoxicating thing that lots of people fall in love with. They're like, well, why the fuck didn't he trade down and get 2 second-round draft picks and, you know, all of this? But this is the thing. I mean, I think Darnell Wright is going to go much earlier than people are expecting. I mean, I
put him top 15 pick. He'll probably be in the top 15 picks.
Yeah.
But if you're giving me 9 only, Paris Johnson, Broderick Jones, and then
right.
I mean, I like Van Ness, but Miles Murphy I think is a better edge. You know, Van Ness is he can move around.
Lucky I don't kick you off the show right now, Tony.
Oh shit! Tell me more.
I am not a Miles Murphy fan at all.
Okay.
Yeah, at all.
Yeah.
We broke him down. Not a fan.
Did I say the wrong thing? I'm sorry, Tyree Wilson.
Tyree Wilson.
Because he's there, it's like you can't walk away, you know?
Yeah.
My bad.
I gotta ask
I would
this.
take Miles.
What's that?
I gotta ask this. What would you guys prefer? I gotta ask this, and I actually got a jet. I gotta get back to work. Let's say Jones and Paris are gone at 9. All right, and you stay at 9.
Mm-hmm.
Which one would you rather take? Would you take Wilson or Van Ness?
I am a Van Ness guy. I'll just say that.
Okay.
I am with Shayne, and I would take. I'm not afraid to say I would take Van Ness.
Yeah,
and
both...
Darnell Wright at 9. I have no problem. I'm going to show you Darnell Wright if you're not a patron this weekend, Saturday, because Sunday's Easter. Saturday. I'll show you tape of Darnell Wright, and then next week other networks will be talking about Darnell Wright at 9. They already started when we talked about
critical. Tyree Wilson is a massive high upside project. I mean, he's got everything you want, and if you hit on it, go ahead, Mike.
Wouldn't he be potentially an easier fit in Eberflus' scheme with his body
he
type?
has the length.
Yeah,
but both of them are 6'5".
Yeah, I don't think there's a. Let's say I don't ever want to say 100%, but I'll say 97% chance that the lowest that he will drop is to number 6. Okay. I think you're going to see Carter and Wilson go 5 and 6 in whatever order. Carter goes 5 or Wilson goes 5, and the next one goes at 6.
Here's the thing look, this is a great exercise here. Van Ness versus Wilson. Van Ness has the motor. Wilson has the motor, right? They both.
And I don't put his motor on the same level as Van Ness.
But exactly. Van Ness's motor is hair on fire. His motor is boat on the lake.
Yeah, that train that almost took Cody out earlier, that's Van Ness.
Exactly. Van Ness is more polished in his hand and fundamental use and power at the point of attack. There's no question. Now the ceiling is higher on Wilson.
100%.
So that's where you get caught. But if I'm looking at a guy that wasn't played appropriately at Iowa, and if you were a patron and watching, and my father has been talking about Van Ness since we left the show, hoping the Patriots get Van Ness because he's on that level of dominance, not fully grown into his body. And he's just doing things he played the 3, he played a 0, he was playing nose on some of these. Then he's playing edge 5, he played everywhere. So when I look at it, to answer you, Mike, Van Ness fits better with what Eberflus wants in that versatility because Van Ness has the motor, the length, and the fundamentals.
Okay.
So he would get a check plus, whereas Wilson gets a check with a circle over there based on his ceiling could be okay. His ceiling is going to be high, but you can end up getting a JJ Watt type, as Shayne has said, in Luke Van Ness. So
Do you see Van Ness as just like an edge primarily, or would you put him inside?
never put him inside. He could not do it. That's the thing.
Why, 'cause
You
he's
said,
small, or
excuse me,
270,
you
2
said Davis, Wilson?
No, Van Ness.
Van Ness could play both.
Oh,
Sorry.
hell yeah.
Is he the guy
I would
that you had-
never put Wilson
No.
inside. He's
Not right
an
now.
edge guy. That's it. He cannot. You see him a couple plays in there, and he gets just washed by the combo blocks.
Van Ness isn't going to put up crazy numbers as a rookie. I think he's still growing into his body, and I think he's 275. I think he can get up to 290. And I mean, you're talking JJ Watt size, and I don't think if you hit on this kid, I'm telling you, I feel like that is the upside you could see with Van Ness, is a JJ Watt type upside.
God bless you, Heidi. Be safe, Heidi, in the tornadoes. I'm guessing in Indiana, because Zorich was telling me about the tornadoes that hitting over by him. Have a great night, Heidi. Thanks for the kind words. She said she was wanted to learn the game. Now she's more a bigger fan than her husband of the Bears, and with more knowledge because of this network.
Yeah, so Chris had this question: what do you do with Leatherwood and Borum? They're non-factors for me. I mean,
they decide. They tell you what you do with them. That's
You
what
just
gotta
have them
do.
compete.
Right.
You
They're
just have them
there.
compete.
They're there.
You
and-
make the team.
Yeah, you don't look at them and say, "Oh, we got Leatherwood and he's got a chance, so we're not going to take this guy." They're just there. They're depth, and they have the ability to compete, and that's it.
No, as Phil said, nothing we have affects me on what I'm going to draft.
Yeah,
That's
Totally
exactly
agree.
how they got to do it. And I think everybody's learning a lot from this network because you're all on the same course in regards to that. Like those guys decide. Go ahead, Mike.
So are you guys of the opinion that Lucas Patrick is like basically gone?
No, I don't think he's gone. I just
in the
think
same boat as them.
he's a non-factor for me. I mean, he doesn't
decides.
like when I'm writing down. I'm not saying I'm writing his name down on the depth chart, but it's
Is
not
he the
in
starting
a
center?
right now.
Yeah.
No, I think Cody Whitehair would be your starting center
Really?
right now.
That's what they've been talking about. Yeah.
Not good.
I think it depends who they draft.
I think
They
he's-
they might not draft
No,
a tackle high, and then they'll move people around.
But I mean, we haven't had the draft. We haven't had the draft yet, and there's
If they go in the second round and draft
I think that's what's going to happen.
Michael Schmitz,
Michael Schmitz there.
And there's going to be another wave of free agency. There's going to be cut downs, and
Right,
listen,
right.
I know people don't want to rely on that. You're not relying on it, but
You're
the
using
Bears have a lot of money, and they're gonna use that to their benefit. You're gonna see a lot more people brought in, 1-year deals, prove it deals that are brought in. But I mean,
This
Lucas
is a
Patrick
great
is.
center draft, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking like into the 4th, 5th round. Like
yeah,
if
like
you're in
Phil-
the 5th, my guy Olu, that I don't know what
Olatimi
tape
Michigan.
From Michigan.
Michigan. I don't know what tape anyone's want, but that would be the best center since Olin Kreutz that the Bears would have. So if you're getting him in the 4th round, like
133.
Exactly. Like, come on.
That's
Like,
a steal, right?
He's one of my guys. Like those guys on tape, his testing number, whatever. But when you watch, I mean, there's a reason why coaches are voting this guy as an All-American center, as the #1 offensive lineman, interior offensive lineman for a reason. And I know it's not a popularity contest with that kid. What he did at Michigan to set the tone of that line of scrimmage says a lot. And we'll see how it goes. Now, I have Schmitz's tape. Again, we're going to look at centers. Hopefully I can get Big O on with us. There'll be 3 O's. it'd be like, oh, Coach O, Big O, and myself breaking down centers.
I've been
Hopefully
hearing stuff
Shayne will
about,
be.
was it
Shayne
Strawberry?
won't be delivering mail that day.
Draft move.
Wow. For a ride.
But the centers in this draft, another position of need.
Yeah,
that's gonna help you.
But to your point, overall point, you can't. He's a guy.
Yes.
Lucas Patrick. He's a non-factor in your plans moving forward. He's a guy on your team, and if he goes to camp and there's two guys, maybe Doug Kramer outplays him in a pickup role. We don't know that yet.
Right.
But
Dieter, my boy Dieter could go in there.
you never know. They
and
brought
shock
Dieter
the
back.
world. They
Who
brought
knows?
Dieter
But
back.
he's
Right.
a guy. Dieter's
going to come on the show in a couple weeks. Can ask him.
Yeah, I said the same thing, and I know it raised eyebrows when we had who's our guy with Kenneth that we had on Alex Shapiro. He almost, I don't know. He was very surprised when I brought up. I'm like, I'm writing Teven Jenkins down in pencil on my depth chart. I'm not forming my roster saying we have him. I can't do better because let's be honest. There's questions around Teven Jenkins. There is. You got to stay healthy, kid. Number one, first and foremost, got to stay healthy. There's nobody. I'm not going out and drafting.
There's nobody. Even Braxton.
Yeah.
Has no bearing.
You can't
None.
say Braxton Jones is
Broderick Jones is there.
Locked in. Can't do it.
Sorry. You're going to have to compete. And all of a sudden, you beat out Broderick Jones if we draft him.
Put it this way, guys. So if you're
Broderick's playing the right,
say you're at number 9 and Broderick Jones is the pick for Chicago, and then you get down to 53, and Matthew Bergeron is the top player on the board. Guess what you do?
You take him.
You fucking take him. You do. It's very simple. And that is not anything against Braxton Jones or any other offensive tackle. Guess what? Let's have a surplus. Let's have a competition. Welcome to the real world. Finally in Chicago. That's the way that I look at it. Cody
Never
just
seen
run
that
over
before.
a hamster.
Cody, I know you got to go back to work. I appreciate you jumping on with us, being a TTNL fan. Do you want to say anything before we let you go?
Yeah.
Don't do that to him.
Hey, that warmed my heart there. All right. Yeah, I just gotta say, man, you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Anybody paying attention to any kind of Bears social media knows there's a shitload of meatballs out there that like the Bears that need some education, and you guys are out there providing it. So it's worth every penny. You guys that aren't Patreons, you got to get on it, man. You'll learn so much. It's nuts. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Shout out to you guys.
Thank you, man, so much, man. Stay safe by the railroad track. And, what are you
I
lifting?
will.
Are you piling up sheetrock, shipping that out? What are you doing?
No, we do, dude. So we build like interior and exterior doors, and then we just sell a bunch of shingles, decking, just random construction materials.
Nice.
About
Can I get
everything
a hookup
outside
with
of
some
lumber.
of that? What's that? What's that shit, Jackal? The fake wood for decking? What is that stuff?
There's a few different names.
Just decking?
Trex
Yeah.
deck. Trex deck.
There's
Trex deck. You got any of that shit?
Composite deck.
Yeah, it's composite decking. It's like Fiberon's one of them. It's just composite shit. I
My
mean,
wife wants
Falling
the
off a truck,
composite
Cody. He needs to fall off a truck and end up
Needs
in
to
his
fall
house.
off a
fall off a
Trex
truck
deck.
on clear
Right?
from Iowa all the way on the East Coast.
Bill, knock your Patreon membership down to
Come down to
$350 a month.
Connecticut's right down the
It's only $250 a month now.
Right.
All right, brother. Stay
All
safe.
right.
Thank you for the kind
Thanks,
words.
Cody.
Had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. Thank you for having me. Later, guys.
Later,
God
Phil.
bless. There he is, Cody Hahn. Hahn like solo.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh.
Jackal's in the building.
What up? What up?
Jackal.
Jackal's reaction was classic to
Oh,
the.
dude, that was fucking hilarious.
Stepped right into
it
it.
wasn't me. I was too fucking stoned. I just started
Mike is
cranking up.
just trying to figure out who Jackal is right now. Who the fuck is this?
Was that Cody with the back getting raped in the background? Like,
I don't know
Something was going on there. Yeah.
like that was did you hear like
Yeah.
Let's
The
go
gerbil
around
was
the
trying to get
table
out.
here to you guys. You know, what was your favorite so far free agent signing for you guys? Do you have one of those? Let's start with you, Tony, from
I'm
Tampa.
gonna probably go with linebacker from the Bills.
Tremaine
Edmunds.
Edmunds.
Edmunds, yeah.
There you
I
go.
mean, and then just following it up with the DJ Edwards, Chicago kid, you know, was kind of like, wow, that was. I was like, okay, that works. Now we can just go D line, O line, the draft. Let's do this.
It's crazy how they are building this team. Like, I wouldn't have expected it. I thought it was going to go a different way. They're building that back end of their front seven with their linebackers and getting ready. Obviously, they got Walker, DeMarcus Walker, that if you paid attention to our network, you would know he's not a defensive end. He's actually
I just think it points. I don't think they're doing it backwards. I don't think they had any intention of building it through free agency. I think that they look at it and their most important pieces they feel are far superior in the NFL draft. The offensive linemen, the defensive linemen.
I agree with that.
Listen, we talked about it here. You guys know my thoughts on Tremaine Edmunds. I was a big Edmunds fan in the draft. When you have all this money available to you in free agency, you can't go out, and I always have a problem when these guys are going out and resetting the market and giving a 30-year-old guy, you know, record-setting money.
20
you
plus
go,
million.
You want to go out and pay a guy? Go out and pay a 24-year-old Tremaine Edmunds. Yeah. It makes sense. There's tons of upside there. And to Ryan Poles' credit, you know, I never really thought about it like this, but he said, you know, a guy with TJ Edwards was the very first free agent for any team publicly announced. And when I saw the financial numbers come in for him, I'm like,
cheap.
Holy shit.
Cheap.
I couldn't believe I was shocked. And then all hell broke. I'm like, all right, so we made our splurge at linebacker, and then boom, they came out the gates with Nate Davis, and we hit start broadcast here on StreamYard, and during the countdown, Tremaine Edmunds was announced. So I think they're, you know, they paid guys with upside in free agency. Edmunds, you know, had got a sizable deal, but 24 years old on the open market is extremely rare. So.
And he's a freak of a talent. Again, if you're a patron, X's with the O's. If you didn't get to see that episode where we're actually
he is Logan.
Tape,
he's the strong side linebacker.
Yeah, strong. Yep.
Or he might be the starter on special teams if he doesn't win the competition. You know, Dylan Cole could come in here and push to start. Same with
people are gonna love that. People are gonna like Dylan Cole. I'll tell you what.
My father and I broke down Dylan Cole. You see a fun guy to watch. He plays with a lot of energy. Reminds me a lot of Brendan Iambandejo when he came, you know, but a more polished linebacker. He's got some ability to read and fill and get there, and he brings a fucking wallop with him when he lowers the boom. The Bears have really looked at their linebacker position, and it's funny because when we look back on what we did all season, watching the tapes of the Bears linebackers and Morrow and Roquan, and just seeing them guess and miss and not read their assignments and keys, it's no wonder. I mean, you got to give them credit that's a focus, and I think you're onto something big. And I'm sure someone will steal it tomorrow, but really really smart, Shayne, what you just said. And I think if you're drafting young linebackers, they have to now gather themselves and understand the game of football. When you get a culture like the Chicago Bears with Eberflus and they want you a certain way, you get a veteran that's young, that has played in this league, that is going to fit your system perfectly, then you don't have to worry yourself about that growth that needs to be there. It's going to be immediate. Who's calling the plays? The Mike. Mike's calling the fronts. Tremaine Edmunds loves the game of football and is a freak, and the tape doesn't lie about that. So
That might not even be his best attribute, Phil. I point to the fact that he's a leader. He was named team captain on a veteran-laden defense in Buffalo at 20 years old. He was voted a team captain, and he's remained that. I think it's very important. I really do. I think it's extremely important. He's 24 years old. Let's be honest. If Justin Fields is the face of your franchise, the face of your defense right now, number 49, without a doubt.
Did he pick that number, Shayne?
He's always been 49. He was 49 at Virginia Tech, 49 at
one of the
Buffalo.
worst numbers on
it is. I'm not a fan of it. Yeah,
49.
It's one away from 50.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of it. I gotta keep it 100.
If you want a guy to do the dirty work, you gotta have a dirty number, Phil.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. 49's a dirty number. You gotta have a guy.
I'm sure Chris knows all about position number 49 on the Karma Sutra book.
Why don't you pull it off the shelf real quick?
He's got it behind him over here. But you're right, Ivan. I guess I will say this, not to jump away from Tremaine, but I know the chat is buzzing and Logan's feelings are hurt. Jack Sanborn has so much to prove and step into the competition, because I will not turn the page on what I saw Sanborn do.
Nobody is.
I will be pissed off. I'm just saying this from historic Bears, if they go out there and they just hand guys the job. And if I'm looking at them and I'm having Ivan
he ain't competing to Mike linebacker to start over Edmunds.
No,
you gave him $50 million guaranteed.
No, I'm talking about Will linebacker versus TJ Edwards.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's where you got to go.
Strong.
What's that?
Strong side linebacker.
The Will and the Mike are going to be on the field the most.
Yeah.
Your Sam linebacker is going to come in on base fronts, which is red zone. How they decide to use them. Well, think about how many times we saw 3 linebackers on the field. Like in my brain, looking back on it, I would say 10%. It's a small number.
We also never had any healthy linebackers either. So
that's true as well. Yeah. And the reality, hey, I don't know. Maybe they have a whole different plan. But the reality is Sanborn showed me a lot. And I don't like the Bears just giving TJ Edwards. You paid him. Now he's starting. No. But make it a competition. But obviously, Tremaine is the face.
That's fine. Phil, on a good team, there's nothing wrong with Sanborn being your number 3 linebacker. I mean, it's a good thing.
If he comes out there, if he starts at Sam, that's great too. But I'm just not giving up on him.
No. Nobody's giving up
Edwards,
on him at all.
to me.
Edwards could be one and done here.
Exactly.
By the way that his contract goes. Let's be honest.
Edwards' tape to me, okay, he's a good player on a great defense. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes those guys go. Larry Brown, think of him for Dallas. He goes to the Raiders and sucks. Remember the corner? Yeah, there's plenty of examples with linebackers going. They did something really good somewhere, and then they go somewhere else, and they're not as good. I just don't want to see things handed to people based on, oh, we signed you, we recruited you, you come here, you play. No. Sanborn earned it last year. He was better than Roquan. People got so offended. But I'm like, look at this tape.
That's
The
crazy.
instincts, he's getting to the hole. Roquan's guessing. I mean, they lucked out of it. That's right. Larry Brown, Super Bowl MVP, goes to the Raiders, and he was horrible. But I think of a linebacker that did the same thing. It was great in one system, goes to another defense, and he just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. We'll see how they do. But Bears, we've been very lucky at linebacker. Even back in the day with Joe Kane and Vincent Smith coming in here, Shayne. Seattle, remember Joe Kane coming in here. You get some good linebackers. I just know Tremaine Edmunds. You're right. Face of the franchise, immense upgrade to Roquan, and a really good fit here in this defense. He is the Brian Urlacher. As I told Cars that night,
you
got to see him at Mike because of the length and he closes passing windows. He closes them just on his length.
And who does that remind you of? I mean, like,
shut down.
And that's Urlacher.
Yeah, exactly. It's Brian Urlacher, like the last guy to run it very well.
In Chicago.
You know? Yeah,
exactly.
In Chicago.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm down with Edmunds.
I want to get Joe Kane on this show, Shayne. Maybe I love the name Joe Kane was like that's like the perfect football name.
I mean, Dick Buckus.
It sounds like
perfect.
The program. Did you ever see the program? The program.
Did Logan and Paul, I think they sound like a perfect couple here. Sanborn, it's going to be a Pro Bowl.
He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, Paulie.
He's also going to be the Sam linebacker on opening day, but there's that.
Oh my God! Go ahead.
Do you think Roquan's contract has anything to do with the headaches that Baltimore's going through with Lamar? Like, if they didn't give him $20 million, maybe you just take it on the chin.
I don't think this has been
just guaranteed money.
I think this is Baltimore's. I think this is really what they've been wanting to do, honestly, with Lamar, because I think if you gave them some truth serum, I don't think they think that he will stay healthy. So I think they're perfectly fine. I think they'll be like, yeah, we'll franchise you. That gives us another year. Go out there, go be a Pro Bowler, and if you don't stay healthy, then. And what is he? He's played in the last 2 Decembers. He's played in it's been minuscule amount of games. The last 2 Decembers combined. Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. He's been hurt at the end of the last 2 seasons. Yeah.
Listen, one thing I want to point out, since you asked me about Roquan, is that Ryan Poles dodged a bullet, maybe lucked into it. No pun intended, bullets. But the reality is he might have. Because he said he offered a very competitive deal or something like that. It was out. I forget the terminology that Poles used, but
record breaking.
And record breaking. And you know what? That would have been a fucking dumb move because the tape told me that Roquan was a guesser.
You can say record breaking and it may not include guarantees. I can give you a 5-year contract.
We lucked out. Roquan being here didn't fit.
It never made sense. It never made sense.
And you don't do things that don't make sense. And listen,
don't make dollars.
People got upset when we all were in unison. There was no debate from any of us, me, Cars, or Shayne. There was no fighting that night. We all believe you don't pay an off-the-ball linebacker $100+ million when they don't make game-changing plays. If you were to come to me and say, Brian Urlacher, can you pay him? Young Urlacher, no doubt. No doubt, because I'm watching him totally change the game. He was a game changer. So I said it to his face on this show. And people can say whatever they want about Urlacher, the person. I'm just looking at the player, and the guy was amazing. Amazing. And we were lucky to have that here. He's a huge part of the reason they went to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
It really is.
Again,
the anchor.
Look at Roquan's deal, and it to me the mic drop moment is: would you rather have Tremaine Edmunds, TJ Edwards, a second-round draft pick, and a fifth-round draft pick, or would you rather have Roquan Smith?
That's exactly what Adrian's saying.
Undeniable.
Yep.
It's not even a factor. All those meatballs that were arguing with us, that I don't know how people forget.
How does Roquan equate to more win? Like I don't understand how signing him, as good as a player as he is, signing him to a contract that you don't believe in. How does that help you win more games?
No, the final straw was the Washington game, which we should have won, and he got crackback blocked by Wentz, and it's like you're just you're not in the game.
The final straw.
You're not in the game.
I agree.
You're supposed to be laying the boom on the
Stare at the ball and nobody.
Hey, Tom Brady juked Brian
One
Urlacher.
thing well that game.
Roquan Smith, the best part about his game was he was an explosive blitzer and got.
Yeah,
I don't think they blitzed him enough.
No,
but
not at all.
If you watched Roquan on tape versus the run, it would drive you nuts. Yeah,
It's a guessing game. It's shameful for
And,
$20 million.
he guessed wrong a lot.
He went to the open hole.
The Dallas
Yeah.
game, he had 3 tackles. It's like, holy shit.
Well, you really thought he was going to be
That's
very
20 million.
successful as a will linebacker, but I think there was a culture pushback, much like Teven Jenkins, where he didn't want to play Will.
Yeah,
He
didn't
wanted
tell
to play
you?
Mike. Yeah,
I
he
wanna be
told
a
me
Mike.
that
I
right
wanna
on
be
the
Mike.
side. You remember that?
Yeah.
And I think culturally that didn't sit well with the head coach because he's like, I know I'm trying to do the best thing for your career here. And, you know, you look at, I think it was Mike Ditka who told Big Cat, like, we're going to make you an offensive tackle. Vic Fangio did that with Kyle Fuller. Like, you have to coach the players to be the best. If you have that person that doesn't want to help themselves and just wants to do what they want to do, put a name in there, then they end up washing out of the league or they get out of the franchise. Now, I think Roquan's a better 3-4 middle linebacker where he's got another guy next to him and a big fat defensive nose man in front of him to help free where his guessing kind of he can course correct in that area because you got another guy next to you. When you're isolated as a Mike in a 4-3 and that guard blocks down and you're guessing left, you got to step to that gap and flow and fucking take on and jack someone up, scrape and deliver. He didn't do any of that. He just beat you to the spot and he was not, I took a picture with him. You guys see, he was not a big guy. He didn't look like, oh, this is an NFL football player. I was standing next to fucking Willie McGinnis, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, this motherfucker's a linebacker, defensive end. He's huge. Urlacher, same.
I would say Urlacher in person, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen all the pictures of Roquan in the summers and on the boats and stuff, and you'd look at him and you're like, that dude's an NFL linebacker. I mean, he was pudgy. He was never a body beautiful, dude that looked like he was, sculpted. And I'm like, we talked about it multiple times. Got to get in better shape. We talked about it with Larry Borum. Got to get in better shape. A lot of these guys, and it's the most underrated aspect that the Bears added to this team is the length with Edmunds and how that can create massive mismatches. Phil talked about it, down the field. That was the number one thing with Urlacher. When Urlacher first got in with Lovie Smith, don't forget, he started with Dick Duran. And when Dick Duran was fired, Urlacher said he didn't want to play for another head coach. When he was here under Dick Duran, they deployed him in a totally different way. He was getting you 7-8 sacks. he was going the opposite way with Lovey. They were sending him down the field because he was so athletic and he was so tall, had that length where he could take away that deep center, essentially just remove it. And the best year of his career, Tremaine Edmunds in coverage by far was this year because he's still ascending. He's 24 years old. And
the other thing is he also worked in a scheme that's similar with former Bears.
He's been in the scheme, Phil, since
Leslie
he's been in the
Frazier.
league in 2018. He's been in the same one. And
it's
it's
coming in
critical.
here scheme savvy, length, toughness. You know, I don't know if he's as good a blitzer as Roquan is and can be. I think Shayne's 100% right. I've always said I don't understand why you wouldn't. In fact, when they moved him to Will, that's what I thought they would do a lot of. And just send him off the edge. Send him backside. Fucking go in base and do that. But they didn't. But everything else, I mean, it's all checks on it. It's like going to the fucking carnival at your local store and go or versus Disney World at this point. That's how much I believe Tremaine's an upgrade to Roquan. And it's not even close to me. Again, God bless. And you also got that trade package. So that was huge there. Shawn, your favorite free agent?
The guy I think is going to make the biggest impact is Nate Davis. I feel like their center, the middle of their offensive line was just so weak. They got busted up the middle so many times, and then Justin was just constantly turning away and then running into the edge that was already there. He's going to be able to get away from like one leak in the line, but like when it's leaking everywhere, especially up the middle, that was just a huge need. And I think Nate Davis is just the only lineman we have right now that we know is going to be solid and dependable. Everybody else is still a question mark. So I think he's going to be a huge fit. And I would also like to shout out Travis Homer. I think the fact that they brought him in as the backup running back, he's a really great pass blocker and a special teams guy. I think, look at Khalil Herbert. His biggest weakness is not being able to pass block. So, Poles is like looking at all the angles here. I think that's one of the reasons they brought him in is to help Khalil and others on the team to be better pass blockers at that position. And just, that's why they brought PJ Walker in too. They're going to help Justin get connected with DJ Moore quicker. A lot of these things make a lot of sense. I really like what they're doing with those.
Yeah, you're talking about great trade. Picking up DJ Moore, I think, is the move. And I'm with you. Nate Davis, obviously. Again, that was an X's with the O's all-time classic with my dad. One of my favorite shows was that one where we were breaking down Nate Davis's tape and just how dominant he is inside in those combos, getting to the second level, all the things we haven't seen from the Bears offensive line. Nate's over there and with the Titans doing it. And here we are getting this stud. Now, where they're going to play, are they going to put him at left guard? They're going to Jenkins at right guard? All that stuff is going to be something to iron out because Poles continues to stand on this pillar of the best five will play. And I'm all about that. I just hope that that's true from the eyes of the tape. And that is where we're going to stand on this. Broderick Jones at 9. Do you put him at right tackle? Like, don't play this game. If you were to draft Broderick Jones at 9, which he is my number one offensive tackle in this draft, I'll say just to this because Shayne had brought him up. Right behind him is Paris. Right behind him, like 1B. Paris is more of a polished technician, right? He's got everything I want. Like, if this was another draft, Paris would be the number one offensive tackle for me. But Broderick is so athletic and such an explosive bull when he doesn't even know how good he's doing things that Laramie Tunsil would do on tape. Like, and Shayne had brought up Lane John. That's a perfect just the athletic ability with the power and love of the game to see this guy move is great. And when you have a 1B as Paris and then a 1C like Darnell Wright, it's like finally the gods have given the Bears an opportunity here. What they choose to do with it is going to be my stress level that night when we're right here live covering the draft and the Bears are on the clock and I'm praying for another give me a tackle or give me death moment, and we'll see what they do there. But
are you gonna have
go ahead.
Are you gonna have Bratcher dub your voice?
Can you pull that up?
Give me a tackle or give me death.
He's like, you gotta understand, Shayne. I've been working on Phil's.
I'm working on this all day. Give me a guard or get. He sounded like Mickey Mouse. It's crazy.
That was awesome.
Hey,
why don't we have that? Why isn't that like saved?
I know it should be there.
I'd have to
definitely
look back
going to be ready for.
Yeah, I have to look back in the archives. I thought he was busting my balls. He sent it to me. He's like, bro. every time I listen to this, he says I just die laughing. I'm like,
I gotta see it.
At what?
I'm like, what?
There's one guy that imitates me. I've begged him to come on the show. Like, it is crazy that he sounds like. If you hear your own self, you know somebody sounds like you. So, but he's been so shy to do it. Maybe I can get him in the
I
offseason.
guarantee Jack Baller's impersonation of me sucks.
Horrible.
I guarantee it's not funny at all.
He does good posters, though.
Tell him to record it. Put it on video.
Just record
it underwater.
Send it to me.
Put
send
in your
it to me,
put on
send
your
it to
hat.
Jackal.
Jackal or Ivan. Don't even show Shayne, and they'll put it on the show. Like, don't hide
If it's good, I'll put it on the show.
Hell
if not,
we'll still put it on.
I'll still put it on the show, but I'll let Shayne know.
Still put it on, Ivan.
There's a better chance of Jack Sanborn being named an All-Pro next year than there is of it being funny. Yeah.
Well played, sir.
It's done already.
Send it to Ivan, and we'll get it on the show. We'll get it on the show.
There you go.
Guaranteed to suck. Guaranteed.
Shawn, you had a question?
All right. I wanted to ask you guys if do you think with Poles and Cunningham's background as O-linemen and they pride themselves on evaluating talent, are they gonna like avoid the top guys thinking they can get somebody in a later round? That's what scares me with them.
That fucking is a great
I
question.
think so too.
And I stay up at night worried about that exact question. I swear to you.
I think it's a
crazy that you
legit
brought that up.
thing. It doesn't concern me because I think if they pivot, it's going to be to the defensive line.
Yeah.
Plenty of talent.
Silver lining.
I know Phil's ultimate fear is with the 9th pick in the NFL draft, the Chicago Bears select Jackson Smith and Jigba, wide receiver, Ohio State.
It'll be a live reaction that you guys won't want to miss.
I won't. No, I wouldn't be for it either.
I wasn't live when Leonard Floyd was drafted.
Yeah.
Only Lauren Cox remembers that because he was on the phone with me, and he was at the draft telling me the Bears have traded up.
Yeah.
And we're both like, we're getting our left tackle, and we're celebrating. Oh my God.
How many times?
It's been a letdown. Obviously, everyone talks about the Aaron Donald stuff, but we were on top of the Aaron Donald stuff. It wasn't like post history. We were so disappointed. Like we were sitting there with bated breath, hoping we were going to get Aaron Donald. We got Kyle Fuller, who I liked. But again, if you were going to choose a defensive tackle or corner, this is the story of the Bears. That's why I get so nervous, Shawn, with your great question, because this affects my life and my family and everything like that. Like, And that's what this network is. So that's who we attract. So it affects all of you too. So
thank you.
When we're there, like it does keep Shayne up. It does keep me up. And like some people have said, you know what? I started the show. Like maybe Heidi's like that now. I'm not into, I never watched Kyle. Now I'm like going nuts. We got to get and that's what this is about. So again, there's no, I forget what Shayne dubbed it, like other network. It's just like fluff, and this is passion. This is really stay up at night.
It's surface level.
Surface level. It's surface level fandom. They can give a fuck if the Bears are good. If they suck, it's going to be great. We're going to have a lot more people tuning in to complain. That's their take. I'm the opposite. I never want to fucking lose. And that's why I surround myself with guys like Ivan Vargas, Shayne, Cars, Jackal, Claudio. You know, Claudio, as dumb as his Mbappe takes are, I know how much he fucking loves.
Where did Claudio go?
I don't know. He just
going
left.
on. He had to take.
Yeah, he had some issues. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it? Tweedly diddly dee. All right.
Being a responsible human being.
He was going to check on his bank.
The Ruples.
He's got garage sales to hit up this weekend.
Keeping it yen.
We gotta be careful of the dollar. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All I'm saying.
No, but I think Sean, it's a great point, and it's not one that should be dismissed because we talked about this a little bit with the patrons. It's going to be how these guys, do they have enough of a drop off? Let's just say Paris Johnson Jr. Do they have Paris Johnson Jr. and let's say a guy at 53 in offensive tackle that could be available, Matt Bergeron from Syracuse? Do they have a big enough drop off from Johnson to Bergeron as compared to Van Ness to whomever, the kid from
Keon
Auburn, let's say, or the kid from USC.
I love Keon White.
And then, throw it in there to make Phil mental. Do they have
Nolan Smith?
Oh no, I don't get that one. I don't get that one. No, I'm just saying do they have JSN so much higher than a wide receiver that they could be potentially looking at in round 2? I can't. They invested into Claypool. If you're taking JSN, you're essentially saying that the Claypool thing is done. That's what I said. You made 2 trades for a wide receiver. Now you're going to draft one too with all of that hole on the line. I would fucking lose my mind like you wouldn't believe. It's
where
surface generational. No.
This guy coming out next year could be, but not him.
Yeah, right. So we talked about round 2. We have a couple of picks. We were stuck in a couple of our mock drafts on who do we draft at I believe that first pick in the second round. And we talked about trading up. If they would trade up, in your guys' opinion, Phil and Shayne, everybody chime in if you want. Where would you see? Who would they trade up for? Like, who is trade up worthy in your?
You got to see who's on the board there.
Yeah. I think
true. You kind of
depends on where you go. 1. So say you go 9. Say you take Van Ness at 9. This was a great exercise we did on Patreon.
Yeah. Then if now I don't think he's gonna. If let's just say somebody like Anton Harrison dropped for whatever reason.
Right.
An offensive tackle or John Michael Schmitz, depending on where they have him. Those are the guys that I think that they would,
say Osiris Torrance.
Yeah.
Falls to the second. There's another guy that
we'll go our top needs. Let's say they go.
Let's say they go there. What's the top need in your mind, Ivan? Like if you were
offensive line.
Okay. So that I agree with you. So that's where the Chicago Bears, what did they do in free agency? They got a guard. Okay, so where's the big hole?
Would you put the number 1 need
right tackle?
You put the number 1 need, no doubt, offensive line, even over defensive line. I mean, because worst case scenario, you could put out a offensive line out there that would at least be, I mean, you would have a spot for everybody. Defensive line, you don't have. I mean, so right now your ends would be Robinson and Gibson. That's a major concern. They can't be starters.
So Shayne, don't you think this would pose a very potential threat to Edmunds' production? Like I'm actually not crazy about the Edmunds signing for that reason. As presently constituted, how does he not have someone up in his grill 5 yards into the play? No fault of his own. I'm just saying we have a bad defensive line right now.
Oh, sure, but I mean you're not fixing everything. First off,
correct.
Second off, we haven't even had the draft yet. You know what I mean? Well, and the way that he's going to be deployed, he's going to be, like I said, you talked about Brian Urlacher. He's going to be a guy that's going to be dropping back into coverage a lot and removing, that deep half of the field. But no, it's your middle linebacker. Yeah, he needs protection, but that's why I said I think.
Well, they have the Billings. They drafted. I mean, they signed Walker. He's going to be a 3.
So those are Justin your 2 Jones. Interior right now.
Those 3. Justin Jones isn't done here. They like
no. That's he's to me.
But he'll be better as the other tackle.
Yep. Yeah. So you have Billings, Walker, and Jones inside right now. But as your ends in,
it's a great point. Now the Holy Trinity to me goes. Is that quarterback, pass rusher, offensive tackle.
Your ends right now being Robinson and Gibson is a big fucking issue.
Right. That's where Van Ness, Wilson. Now look at the top. Let's look at the defensive edge guys or defensive ends. Because
let me bring up a thing here. I
would never draft Nolan Smith because I know someone asked me. He doesn't fit the transcript of length and size. His numbers are one thing, but his tape is a lot of disappointment and a lot of flash. So there's disappointment and flash. There's no consistency with Nolan Smith. Same thing with AA at Northwestern. Miles Murphy, we broke him down. He's got the length. Shayne talked about the smallest hands ever, right?
Well, yeah, he's 6'5", 264 pounds. He's got 8.5-inch hands. It's crazy.
Is that Kenny Pickett size there?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Smaller.
Even for the patrons, even when you guys saw it on Draft Mob, it wasn't impressive.
Yeah, exactly. So then I love, and I don't believe that this guy gets out of the first round, but a lot of people say he will. But Isaiah Foskey of Notre Dame fits what I'm looking for as a defensive end in the Bears scheme. He's fucking motor heavy and hands heavy. He understands how to pass rush. He's the all-time sack leader in Notre Dame history. I mean, that is a stat if you think about Notre Dame. And there's no questioning this guy's love of the game. Not one play that I see this guy take off. And I watched every rep of this one because Foskey, I don't think he's going to get out of the first round. So if there was a trade down, this guy, what is he, Shayne? 6'5"?
Foskey?
Yes, 270 pounds.
Yeah,
something like that. He's
22, 265 pounds, 6'5".
My father was pointing out how he always attacked, almost like Will Anderson, always attacked pads first, extending hands, breaking through. He was consistent. Same with Van Ness. Van Ness was consistent. So, Shayne, you're onto something there. I mean, my love affair with the tackles is there, but I'm not going to be disappointed. Like, even I know it's never going to happen. I'd be shocked if it was Brissett, but I'm a huge Brian Brissett fan. I know the medicals and everything like that, but the tape on that, what he does at the 3 technique, it's like, my God. And same with Cansey. He's the outlier, as Shayne would use, right?
Yeah.
So Cansey is my favorite fucking defensive lineman aside from Anderson.
They give him like Aaron Donald comps, right?
Oh my God. I love Cansey's tape.
These draft simulators aren't accurate. They're fun.
Yeah, that's all they are.
In this one, I would replace. I mean, I don't.
Anderson went 3.
I don't think in any world.
You zoom in a little, Shayne.
I wish they could zoom in. They can't. I don't think.
Why would the Lions take Paris Johnson?
Yeah.
Just to fuck us.
I know.
Yeah, right.
That's weird. But based on this, you could trade because Richardson's going to be there, right?
Yeah, now you trade.
Well, yeah. So we have some trade.
The Titans are going to want to trade up right there.
Well,
I'd be looking for Washington.
Two
and
trade
Tampa.
offers.
Yep.
So Tampa Bay.
There's no way the Titans aren't involved in this.
Tampa Bay is offering pick 19, pick 50, and a 2024 second. The Saints are offering 29, 40, 71, and a 2024 second. That would be via Denver.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of
That's
picks.
Saints get you in 40 in the second round, where you have lots of options: DT, guard, center.
I wouldn't be against that Saints trade at all.
Why am I not getting a first next year? Because they threw in that 71st
counter.
Counter.
Yeah, I mean,
is that the caveat?
Probably
there?
the 71.
They don't have. Did they send their first? No, that was this
Just
year.
counter and see what it says. Does it have it? Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So put first, and then take 71 out.
There you go.
And propose that.
They're not going to take it. Oh,
it's been accepted.
Wow.
Pleasure doing business.
That's a haul.
Yep.
So now you got that first next year.
So now I'm thinking
3
too,
first-round
when you
picks
trade
next
down
year.
so far,
Wow.
you're probably gonna get
Now we're
right
all
back.
the way at the back.
One
It's
of
too
them-
far back.
The Saints are going to
One of
suck.
them-
too.
Actually,
Top 10.
the Saints the Saints were going to give
They're
up
gonna
all that
take
for
their quarterback.
Sanborn. They wanted the certified Hall of Famer. So they
Guarantee Richardson's going off the board right here, right?
For sure.
Well, you would
Not
think
a-
so. I mean, if they had their, yeah.
If it's for a draft.
Yes.
Miles Murphy, you're
Gotta
trading
love
a first. Get the fuck out of
I
here.
love Chat GPT.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson.
Jack off.
Yeah, and I mean, it's crazy.
They should have taken the quarterback there.
Patriots
Still
taking a
have-
I
running
think
back.
we'll have 2 to 3 linemen, offensive tackles
So
available.
he goes to Pittsburgh, back to back, first round
Anthony
quarterbacks.
Richardson, back to back.
What a
No
joke.
way.
Yeah,
way.
Mitch just shit his pants again, Logan. Your answer at quarterback.
Please.
Lucas Finesse, Isaiah Foskey go back to back at 19 and 20.
Oh, Foskey.
Wow. Good
Big-
call, Phil.
Breezy's my 3 guys in a
Yeah.
row. Look at them. Oh, here we
There
go.
you go.
This would be draft night.
I don't know,
I
right?
thought I was
That's
going to
taken.
steal with them. I thought I was
No,
going to get
paid.
my guy.
So
not-
Anton
Go for a
Harris
fourth,
or
fourth.
Dward
Go for it
Jones.
first.
Yeah, so we're gonna just end up picking here.
All
because
my
we're not-
guys are off the board.
Well,
Zay
I mean,
Flowers.
to me, I mean, at this point, you're I mean,
Zay Flowers, Phil.
I think you're going with Harrison
Harrison.
at 29. I do.
He's left tackle, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Cansey's still there too.
Kalijah Cansey would
Yeah.
be my vote here. But
Yep.
again,
And we have 40, so you think Cansey might make it to 40?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah,
No, we
so
got
you have
50, yeah, we do
29,
get 40,
40,
you're right.
53,
How'd you
61,
do that? I
64.
never was able to
Because I
understand.
did like
You
80
click on the
podcasts on
logo.
the same
Oh,
page
yeah.
last night
Taught me something.
before I got on here.
Got a
Oh,
lot of
scroll
people that
down.
want
What
it.
do you got? A lot of
Well,
people
I
in
mean,
the chat voting. What is? We're gonna
Yeah.
let our guys come to an
Yep.
agreement tonight. It's gonna be
John Michael
you guys.
Schmitz is
I
out
think
there.
it's Harrison.
Anton
That's my vote.
Harrison.
John Michael
Defense.
Schmidt.
Like I said, you're talking about Cansey. I couldn't
If you don't
take.
get fancy,
I would be, to me, I would be taking Harrison here pretty clearly myself, but I'll let you guys decide on that.
Hold on. Who were the edge players I saw? You guys
Aguilar,
talk it out. Talk it out.
Aguilar,
My guy
Keon
Keon.
White,
My guy Keon. They got him at 44.
Yeah.
I think
He'll be there.
Get Tui later on instead of Keon or
Someone wants
There's
Felix.
There's a pretty big drop off at tackle after this, isn't there? There's a couple guys here, but then after that, don't they have a big drop
tackle.
off?
I think there's like 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty deep, but I mean,
no,
it's,
offensive tackle. Sorry.
yeah. But again, this is critical. So you're going from 29, 40,
PFF
53,
freed up their first 3 rounds.
61, and 64.
I would never take Ojulari here. I know a lot of he's becoming a hot name, but that's Leonard Floyd's cousin. He's just too light, man. He's
like I said, Phil put in. We're gonna let you guys handle
I'll
it.
let you
You're
guys
gonna
handle.
But my vote, to me, it's
Harrison.
easy. It's Harrison. Phil, you're Cansey.
Either I'm Cansey or Harrison. I think the coach in me is gonna side get Cansey here. Get Cansey here because he's gonna be off the board.
Yep.
Now you got your 3 tech to go along with DeMarcus Walker, and he's a better pass rusher from the inside, and that's really what you want. But I want these guys to do it.
Yeah, patrons, you have 40 seconds on the clock to submit.
40 seconds.
No pressure.
Harrison.
I got Harrison.
Harrison.
Steward.
Easy.
They all are in unison, Shane.
Harrison.
So
they're going Harrison.
With the 29th
like
pick
this.
in the
This is fun.
2023 NFL draft, our patrons resoundingly tell Draft Dr. Phil to go fuck himself. And we are going with the offensive tackle. There he is. So
Harrison.
we have an offensive tackle.
Left
Anton Harrison.
tackle.
So let's
Maybe my guy will be there based
I
on
think you got a deep
trading up.
I'm going to stop it at 35 just so we can.
There's Keon,
Yeah,
Zay,
Yeah.
Zay, my
Wow.
number 1 receiver in the draft.
So so you're still there. We're flush with picks. I mean, to me, I am not trading up here.
Stay right here.
For who?
Totally agree.
Yeah, is there somebody that you're fancying over there, Shane? Is that why you say that?
Who do you think's
Oh,
gonna
I
go?
mean, if
I have
he's-
2
if he's
guys
there
that
at
are
40
really-
for me, I'm taking I'm completing my offensive line, and I'm running to the fucking podium, and John Michael Schmitz is my pick
Yep.
all fucking day long.
JMS, yeah.
Me and Marsa are same boat all day right now.
Yeah, I would
have to agree.
And I would tell Phil to go fuck himself
I
again
would
and not
tell
take his
you, I
defensive
can
tackle,
get you a
but-
center, and I'm looking, and I'm telling you that this guy's going to be several-time All-Pro.
I would listen. I'm with Bear Truth. I wouldn't take Gibbs over Schmitz if he's available. But if you can get me Schmitz at 40 and then come back with Gibbs at 53,
Yeah.
Or trade up with the 61 or the
yeah.
You got
I'm
a
not
few
trading.
options.
But
Stay there at 53.
so
Let's
you guys,
go.
are
40.
you guys ready to go? Ready to move it forward here?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just going to tell you, the last guy that didn't listen to the doctor ended up regretting it.
All right. So,
So
we're gonna
we
reject
reject
trades.
that.
Yeah.
Our center is available, Shane.
So yeah, it's up to you
Gibbs is
guys.
gone.
Yep.
Sean sniffing his finger. Sean, you got a difference.
You gotta
of
go
opinion?
3 tech. Go 3 tech. We can get a center.
I do like
you
there's a few more centers that are a bit lower
way
that I
deep
like
in the
too.
draft.
But I don't know. I'm kind of thinking Will McDonald here.
Oh, he wants the edge. He's a little light.
Show us the edges.
He's got a
lot.
He's got a little issue called. He's got thin pins, as they say.
Ooh,
little
that's
thin. Yeah.
Go get Clancy. It's Cancy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm split on those two.
Mike,
Center, DT.
our
Phil, if
Italian
you look
brothers,
down there,
can you
your
get
boy
3 tech?
Torrance is
we're
still
gonna
available too,
go,
Phil.
We're going to go center, and we're going to average 35 points a game once our offensive line
Because
is.
we're gonna run right in the middle.
I got no
Everybody.
I
issue.
wish we could
center
put a
here.
clock up.
Phil, Osiris Torrance is still available also, by the way.
I would, if I was to choose, I would pick
53.
Definitely Cancy here. It's just he's a first top 15 player in this
So
draft.
you guys have 25 seconds to come to a consensus, you patrons.
I'm gonna go
It's in my head.
Canty just because there's an offensive attack or
There you
centers
go,
later.
Tony.
Stromberg,
Tampa
and
Tony.
the guy from Michigan. I
He
think we can
understands
pick
the
those guys
Tampa
up forward.
too. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Talking over.
So
I
You're
agree,
fine.
Tony. There's a big drop off for DT. I think by their next pick. So I would go
Yeah.
here.
So you guys are kissing Phil's ass here is what you're trying to tell me?
The guys have said,
No, I'm picking a
fuck
DT that's
Marsaw
gonna
in
be-
round
That's
2.
gonna put some wrecking on people. That's what I'm doing.
This guy has the motor.
So our consensus, Kalijah Cansey, right here.
Yes.
Sounds like it.
Mike, is that good with you?
Only Mike is out.
I want the
Yeah, I want Schmitz, but yeah.
All right.
Hey Mike, do you ride on the
See who went next?
Yeah.
See who went the next pick?
I mean, I would have no
Cross-
issue with
yeah.
either of those guys if they drafted one of them.
Yeah,
What is
John
That's the
Michael
problem.
Schmitz.
Either one of those.
Yeah,
the
John Michael
ferry?
Schmitz
Do you
went
ride the
next.
ferry, Mike?
No, I crossed the Verrazano. I work in Bay Ridge,
Oh.
Brooklyn, the first neighborhood
Okay.
in Brooklyn.
So my buddy is the ferry chief. He's the
You
head.
guys,
Oh, wow.
you guys want to have a separate room so we can do this mock draft?
John Michael Schmitz went right after that. If you're
Oh, yeah.
listening at home.
Could have had Schmitz. Could have shored up the line.
You guys were on.
Well,
Listen,
There goes
I'm
Gibbs.
telling
There
you, you're
goes
gonna get it done at
McDonald.
Better not
53.
be Poles and Cunningham.
I'm thinking Dexter at 53. if we
These
can
guys
get
are talking. They're listening to you. It went right off. Gibbs went. My guy Cody Mock went at
Oh, sick.
43
I
today.
like
Osiris
him.
Torrance.
They went-
Yeah. Did he
Torrance
just go?
went.
No, he's right
Oh,
there.
there.
still
Still
there. 2
Yeah.
away.
would-
They're gonna take him right here.
I
It's
would-
pretty easy pick for me if he's
I would
there
have-
at
yeah.
53.
Oh, yeah.
But, there you go.
There it is. The air.
Welcome to the draft.
The air.
Should've
You guys had to have your midget defensive tackle.
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, Osiris
You, Seattle.
Torrance went off the board. Well, now you can turn in another direction.
I'm looking
What
at
are you looking at here?
I'm looking at Mozzie Smith up there, 41.
Mozzie.
He's a
Mozzie's
beast.
Nice.
He's
Yeah.
a
Dude.
beast. And you
Mozzie.
pair him up with who we got earlier?
Billings. Oh, you mean Cansey and him?
Yeah,
You build it.
Cansey. You put them both on the same line.
That's a nice
Cansey's
pick.
3 tech,
I don't hate that.
1 tech Mazzy. That's,
I like him better than Dexter. I'll tell you that.
Well, I was thinking Mazzy was gone by now.
Serious
So that's
suck.
what I was like.
Mazzy is a fucking steal here, right here.
Yeah.
Fuck, at
So
41,
is
yeah.
I love Cedric Tillman. Like breaking news here. I believe this guy is going to be a star. He's in my top 5 receivers in this draft. He's sitting there, right there at 45. They have him. So, and I like a guy that fits the system here.
Yeah.
Is sitting there, number 54. It's
Washington will
Urlacher's
take him
number right
next.
there. Thule.
Is there a position you guys want to look at specifically?
Dude,
What's
you
the
got
tackles look like? Offensive tackles.
going back to Cali.
We-
You did take the
we need
tackle.
a
I
tackle,
like.
yeah.
Kid from Cuse.
Oh, you think we can get Bergeron at 60, what is it, 1 or 4 or something like that?
I do.
I think you pass on Bergeron here based on what's up there on the board. There's
Yeah, I mean,
agree.
there are
I
some
think
talent
Bergeron will be
there.
there for you.
Yeah.
But go ahead. The edge, guys. Jesus. You also Maisie and
Gotta
Thule.
go Smith.
Maisie and Thule are like, this is a great trade.
I'm thinking you keep building inside out, Smith.
Corner. My
Forbes is a
guy's
good
going.
corner. I'm a Stevenson fan.
You're a Stevenson fan.
Yeah.
What do you
Dexter,
guys
the
got?
kid from Florida, fits the exact profile of what they want. It just he's got an on-off switch question again.
He's also the same position of who we drafted earlier, right? He's a 3-tech.
Yeah.
Who, Jervon? Yeah. He could play the edge too. He's bigger.
Oh yeah.
I think he's
They
good.
put him at the
Like,
edge.
If we're sitting here and there's no Mozzie, no Cedric Tillman, and no Tui, I'm picking him.
Thule is in my ranking over Dexter.
Yeah.
Shayne, where do we pick after 53? 61?
Yeah, you have a bunch of them. Right, boom, boom, boom. 53, 61, 64.
Yeah, Bergeron will be there in that 61.
Yeah, we can probably get Bergeron 64.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. Yeah.
I think you gotta
you gotta take Smith.
The other guy that's interesting is the tight end there, Musgrave.
Yeah, you like him, Phil.
Get him next pick.
I like him a lot. Those would be the guys that I would pick. But I'm gonna why don't we switch and let one of them be the leader for the next few picks? So Shawn, this will be your pick, but converse with Mike. Mike, what are you leaning towards, Mike?
I'm not gonna lie. Past 3, I don't know the field that well, so
At least you're being honest, man. That's the Wu-Tang Clan right there. Gotta be on. Tony, what do you got? Mozzie?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Mazel
much stuck on
tov.
Mozzie. Just trying to build in the trenches. I think that's 2 picks right there that are gonna really turn your defense around and stop the run up front and give you actually pass rushing also. So that's win-win tandem right there.
Hart, they still have several picks, so they still could get a receiver.
No, if you don't get a wide receiver in the first round, Phil, then it's
just trying to help everybody out.
Pick up Mims the first
What do you
round, shock
think?
everybody.
Shawn, where are you going here?
Well, if we didn't sign 2 linebackers in free agency, I would be saying Jack Campbell, but I love him. But
I love him.
That's a little extravagant at this point. I'm with Mike. I don't know a whole lot at this late stage of the draft, so I'd probably go with Mozzie Smith just as far as building up that line and more
Mozzie
of a consensus.
Smith. I gotta break his tape down
pick
for
is
the
in.
patrons. It's
do you want Mozzie? So you want to go
Yes, he's
interior
going
again
Mozzie.
versus edge? Okay. So
Shayne, what would you have done, Shayne?
Mozzie would be up there for me. I wish that I could sit down with Dexter and get to know him. Emmanuel Forbes would be a guy that I'm looking at here.
You might have a shot at him at 61.
I think he's gonna go much higher. But what do we have left over here?
Forbes is a great football player. He's just so. Is he the outlier like Mooney was? Because he's so thin. I think he's like 168 pounds, but he's incredible, instinctive ball guy. So they want Mozzie. Take Mozzie.
Yeah, Forbes is
I meant Forbes.
166.
Yep.
He is fast though, and I was watching some tape on him.
He's
stayed
not afraid.
close to the hip to almost every receiver I saw on tape. So he may be small, but he's latched on like a parasite,
So
Mozzie, if you don't take Mozzie or Thule here, they're both going to be gone, and Musgrave will go to the Giants. So this is where you got to play it.
The all-name team.
I guarantee.
Solidified one
don't
side.
forget.
So he
don't
said
forget,
Mozzie. Take Mozzie.
And don't forget, like I said, our guys outside are right now are Robinson and Gibson. That's it.
Shayne's trying to change your mind.
Well, I'm just saying,
This is your pick.
I think it's critical. Yeah, so go ahead. I'm not trying to direct you. I'm just
Give
giving
him the
you
edge
facts.
rushers. Put defense.
Yeah.
Give him edge.
What else is behind the other edge rusher guy?
Carter, who we broke down on
jump
Patron
there.
Raw.
I think Harrison is a guy that they'd be looking at. Probably not here yet, but not late. I don't think
got
late.
3
I
picks
think
coming
One of
up.
my sleepers in this draft.
Say, Mike or Tony, you guys know anything about Thule?
Oh, yeah.
I love Thule.
Yeah,
I think
would
Thule's
take-
great.
I
I
could
hope
take
he's still
him
there
there.
after Mozzie. It's 1A, 1B, for me, between
I
Smith
think
and Tua.
I love Thule. I could take him like this is say we picked Broderick Jones. Right now, I'm taking Thule right here because of the need and the player. It matches here.
And the value of the position, too,
Thule
Yeah.
may be there at
Yeah.
61. Let's roll the dice,
He ain't
boys.
gonna be there.
No, you
guys have
Pick a player. Finally.
Seriously.
25 seconds happened
there.
25 minutes ago.
So it's Mozzie is the pick.
It's on a sundial, Ivan.
He's gonna bank. Go with it,
Boom.
Sean.
Let's go with it, yeah.
Mozzie's the pick.
Here we go.
Let's
Here
see
we
if
go.
Thule
Come on.
goes off the
Come
board.
on.
No Tui.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Boom.
got him.
Pick him.
Oh, wait, you could
There we
Run
go.
up to the podium.
Sprint
There we
to the
go.
podium.
You guys want to draft another defensive tackle?
I mean, we could. I like that guy, Sakai or Ika or whatever. I think he's a disruptor.
From Baylor. There he is.
I mean, it worked for Philly if you're going to build on one side of the line.
So is this your
got
consensus
Mozzie.
here?
Hit the button,
This is
Shane.
becoming a good draft.
Thule, yeah, let's do Thule.
Yeah, I say Tui for
You
edge.
get Thule at
So,
61.
Such
And
value.
if we get,
right there.
Tillman just went. I was say if we get him.
Oh my God! If you
So now
got
you can
Tillman
pick
at 60,
Dexter or Ika and get that third
Where-
defensive line.
What's the next pick after this one?
right here,
64,
60.
Right here,
Oh,
64.
after
after
64.
After. I think
What's
it's
after
late.
64?
So it's
You have
a break.
103.
So it's a long haul.
So I'd be looking
Yeah,
at
it's a
center
long
here.
way.
How far?
Yeah, I go
down it-
offensive line.
I think you can
Or
get
receiver.
center
I
at
think you can
103.
get a good
Like
center.
Stormborough and the dude from Michigan.
What about Jalen Duncan?
Yeah,
If you
what-
wanna
Wide
go ahead and-
receiver. Jalen would
Yeah.
be
There he is.
Bergeron, do it. I'm with you
Bergeron.
on Bergeron.
Bergeron.
Even though we already
Bergeron
drafted
here
a
is
tackle.
It's actually Mike's choice
Wait
now.
for him,
Mike
get him.
is up. Mike.
We'll go with
Mike.
Bergeron.
Mike's going upstate
Oh,
to
wow.
Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
He's already
Maybe we'll get
decided,
one of
Shane.
those dudes
He
coming up.
wants
So,
your guy Bergeron.
Bergeron.
Carter's not as good as Bergeron.
But what about Braxton Jones?
He's a
You
professional.
gotta get that in the
Bergeron can push inside, just so you
What
know.
about Braxton?
Yeah.
Easily.
You got to get Bratcher to do
There's
that.
a whole lot of moving around that can happen
We found his
after this
replacement.
draft on the offensive line.
I mean, you can't go wrong with too many offensive linemen.
There goes
Nope.
Musgrave.
Let him battle.
I'm surprised he
Never
went in
seen
the
that
third. Mims went to the Titans. Antonio
I really like
Jones.
that Antonio Johnson. He reminds me of Mike Brown.
Yeah, he's a good football.
Like, I don't know how we
player.
can get him in this draft.
Oh, there
but
goes
we
my
did.
guy, Xavier Hutchison. I'm a big
What
fan.
player's gone?
Yeah, I was checking him out too yesterday.
Jalen Jones went to the
Centers
Cowboys.
are falling off now.
Oh, there they go. Yeah.
There goes
Stromberg.
Tippmann.
Little
Damn,
Stromberg.
Stromberg, I was hoping for.
Laporta would have been an interesting pick down here too.
Yeah,
103.
tight end.
Can we go Syracuse back to back and get the running back?
He's already gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Who's left at center now?
Tucker went 83rd.
Yeah.
Right now, it's Tony's
Who
pick.
is that running back?
No, it's my pick. Damn.
Yes,
Let
Tony.
me see the
You're up.
centers.
Oh my guy, Zach Evans,
Mm,
sitting there.
that's pretty
Centers?
good choice.
There he is.
I
Big
think
O.
you can get Olu Toomey at 133 is our next pick.
Mm-hmm.
agree.
Yeah.
Go 103,
Yeah,
133,
I think you got a shot at him there.
So let's go back to
Go
overall.
best available.
Boy, I
Yeah,
would be.
overall.
There's not a chance in hell he's available here during the real draft, but this dude right here is a baller.
Mingo.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wide receiver.
Both Ole Miss guys.
Yep.
Evans and Mingo.
6'1", 220, and look at this 9.97
Oh,
RAS.
wow.
Yeah.
I was
Wait
looking
till
for
you
someone
see
like
his
that
tape.
down here
Yep.
in my mocks. Huh. What was the running back that we had available?
Zach Evans, Phil's guy. Yeah, I'm
Chase
an Eric
Brown.
Gray fan.
What kind of running back is Zach Evans? Is he like a bruiser, a speed guy, one cut?
He's a very,
He's a
very
smooth and natural.
smooth speed guy. He's got a second gear. It's just so slick and skinny in a hole.
Yeah.
That's
I would be.
I fucking love those drops, man.
I'd be all over Zach Harrison here also to add another body to
Add
the
the
defensive
edge.
line where you need it. Yep.
So then we would be 2 DTs and 2 edges, solidifying the
I
line,
like.
hopefully.
I love.
Shane,
these.
click on our logo. Does it show all our?
Yeah.
I love the Ole Miss players here, Evans and.
I mean,
I heard
the
good
wide
things about
receiver.
this Isaiah Land also, but I don't
That's
know.
my guy. That's my sleeper, man.
Yeah.
I think you
Yeah.
take him later.
What tight ends are out there?
That's
Yeah,
a good play. I think the small school kid from North Dakota is available.
Schumacher.
Let's see him.
Oh, I
Payne
love
Durham.
Schumacher. Zach Kuntz.
I mean, even you get this dude late, Wiley all the way down Cincinnati. I'm a fan of.
Kuntz.
Rusty Kuntz used to play for the Tigers.
Rusty Kuntz. That's his cousin. Did you know that?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Zach Evans
You know
is the number 1 rated player.
We're gonna miss our pick here.
I'm between the wide receiver and the edge player, to be honest. If we think that edge, I think Harrison is
Yep.
good enough to play in the NFL,
I think you got a better chance of him falling than you do of somebody like Mingo.
I would take Mingo.
Yeah. Got to give. I mean,
Out of those two, I would grab Mingo.
this is what I love
go
about
Mingo. I
people
love
with
you.
mock drafts, the Hart Foundation. You're neglecting Justin Fields, but I mean, did you guys just not provide him with two offensive linemen?
Two
Yeah.
offensive linemen.
First number 1 pick, our first round pick was a lineman.
That's the Madden philosophy. You got to get wide
And
receivers
I
and
think
running
in
backs all the time.
133, you pick up that center. So let's
So
see.
103. Who is the
Who
pick?
you got? Go ahead,
You want
Tony.
to look at the
Receiver.
wideouts? So you
Yeah,
got
let's go
Scott
with-
and Jaden Reed. Bears just had him in.
Yep.
Got my
I
guy.
want
still
the
there.
big dude. I want the Jonathan Mingo.
Whoa.
He's
All right.
the
Bears had
6'2", 200.
Bears are meeting with Wicks also. He's up there.
Octavian.
I don't think there's a chance in hell Mingo
catches
is.
the fucking ball.
Take
Boy.
Mingo just because it's ridiculous.
All right, there you go.
Let's
Good
do
Mingo
it.
it is.
The pick is in.
I
Mingo
approve.
is the pick.
Mingo
Do it,
is the
Shane.
pick.
Do it.
And Justin Fields.
There goes Evans.
There
Now
goes
he's
Evans.
happy. He's happy, right?
Now it's
There goes
Justin
Reed.
Fields wiping
Now
his
it's
tears.
Sean will be up next. There goes Harrison.
Harrison. Yeah.
There goes Kuntz.
Ah. Wonder if his uncle's at
Hampton
the
off the
draft.
book.
I'm thinking our only pick really is going to be center next, but
Center, tight end, maybe.
I'm
Tight
not
ends.
even.
Please, Wicks went.
What's our
Running back.
I'm
Jonathan.
well, somebody else
Dane.
picking this time. Who's up next?
It's Shawn Steward.
Sean. Yep.
Patron Shawn Steward. 6'4", 268.
Where did the edge from Ohio State end up going? 111.
I wish.
Yeah.
What do we got, Sean? What are you thinking?
You
What
guys are gonna have to
position?
tell me what to look at here because I got no clue about all these guys at this point.
What position are you looking for?
I would like to see tight end or center, ideally, or obviously best available if there's somebody
Kid
sliding.
from Michigan.
Kid from Michigan is still there.
Oh wow, both of them.
Both Michigan guys I love here, Schumacher and Olu, but I think you get Olu here.
We got another pick in after 2 more, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, you're doubling up here. Yeah.
I would
Is
take
there-
Michigan center here.
Is there
There
any
you
like
go.
sliding
Benjamin.
corner right now?
Is there an offensive guard? Somehow, what's his name keeps
Oh,
dropping.
God.
Braden Daniels.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would take Braden
Oh
Daniels.
my God. Yeah, I would too.
Andrew Voorhees.
I would.
the
Braden
center?
Daniels would be a great pick here, Sean.
He's a mean motherfucker.
Oh, I like the sound of that then.
Yeah.
So what do you do with Jenkins when you pick up Daniels and he beats
Same
him out?
thing you say to him.
don't care.
He might be playing right tackle. Who knows?
No, this may come as a surprise, but Benjamin Ricketts is in support of drafting Daniels from Utah.
Wow.
He just said the center for Michigan too.
Yeah.
He did like the center, but I would advise you to take Braden here. Try it, and Olu will be there at 136. We keep our.
And I know I
Mhm.
talk about Syracuse an awful lot this year, but Hassan, this guy is going to be an Eberflus type, and you're gonna have to wait on him a little bit because he did tear his ACL. But Garrett Williams at corner, he would end up starting across from Jalen Johnson on this team.
Brandon
I would
Daniels,
push
do
for
it.
my guy from Iowa, but
Yeah,
that's
I wouldn't
okay.
pass. I'm completely on board with Phil here. I would not pass Braden Daniels at 133.
All right, let's do it.
Braden Daniels.
Daniels it is.
Sean,
Wait, did
has
anybody
it
check
guys.
in on did anybody check in on the guy that's pissed off that Justin Fields not getting any help?
You left.
The heart
No,
founder.
if they build the
He's
trenches
here.
like we're doing
There goes
here, I'm gonna be
Isaiah
happy.
Land.
He'll be very happy.
And there you go,
Nice.
Mike. You got the center from
Oh, Land went.
Michigan staring you right in the face in round 5.
A whole new O line.
Yep.
So there you go. Do you
Take,
want him?
It's
Or do you
two
look-
tackles,
No,
a center,
just-
and a guard.
Wow.
Or is it only
took-
one tackle?
You took
tackles.
offensive tackle Anton Harrison
Amount of
at
food you're gonna
29
bring
in
to
a
the fucking
trade down.
cafeteria for these guys.
Picked up a first-round pick next year. That makes 3 of them.
Right.
You also got a second-round pick, number 40, which you took Kalijah Cansey, who I love. Then you came back with our original trade that we got in the trade down with Carolina, 53, and you got Mozzie Smith, who also I love. Then you came
Dude,
back
look at
with
that.
this
That's
trade.
nasty.
50 feet a human being.
Tuli
Uh-huh.
to Apollo, who I think is going to be a stud and is a perfect fit in this defense. Then you come back at 64, not doing anything for Justin, and get Matthew Bergeron, who could possibly start at guard or tackle as the versatility. Then you come
Amazing.
back and get a high-flying, underrated hands catcher athlete in Jonathan Mingo, who's
Likey.
honestly one of my favorite receivers in this draft. And you didn't pick him at 9, you picked him at 103. Thank you. Then you come back and get a mauler athlete, Braden Daniels. That's why I was like, check the guards. And there he is.
Does he have center ability?
I wouldn't. He's a guard.
Don't mess with him. Let him be.
No, he's so good at guard.
So we didn't help Justin Fields at all, even though 4 of the 7 picks are on the offensive side of the ball.
Dare you.
Got it.
Now you take the center from Michigan. I think you're cooking with gas here.
I would take the corner from Syracuse here.
I would take Olu.
I was going to ask, what's the state of affairs for DBs?
Well, go over there. Corner or safety.
Well, there's your boy Riley Moss.
My guy's there.
Garrett
Riley
Williams.
Moss,
Yeah.
ranked higher than Garrett on their board and mine. I love Riley Moss out of Iowa. Instincts. Look at his Raz. Show him his Raz. Riley
Anybody
Moss.
that can replace Eddie Jackson, because he's kind of getting old and his contract's kind of expensive. I imagine they're going to try to drop that soon.
Eddie's
Cody
only
Moss
28.
went
And
way
I thought,
back.
I thought he was going to be 30 next year, so I thought it was 29.
Is he 29 now?
Hold on. Look at the
I could be
safety
wrong.
position
Gets
for
older
him.
every year.
Going on at safety.
Yes, he does.
No way Corey Tice is better than Moss, in my opinion. I like Tice, but
What do
He's
you want me to look at
29
again?
now.
he wants to see the safeties.
Safety.
Yeah, none for me here that I would.
Yeah.
Still some
Running back.
interesting
We
running
haven't
backs.
found any.
I'm a fan of this kid. I'm a fan of this kid.
I like Kenny McIntosh. I
fan
think
of Eric Gray. Yeah.
I think we can get McIntosh would be a
Schumacher
fit.
is there.
Schumacher, I love. Connecticut boy, played at Michigan. Big tight end, great hands. Doesn't jump. He's
Do we
a
want to
better
piss
blocker.
off the Justin Fields guy and go quarterback here? Really?
You could. DRT would be a good fit.
I'd go with that corner that Shayne likes.
Oh, you trust him more than me. Thanks.
Smart.
You should have went Riley Moss. That's all I'm gonna say.
He just told me he doesn't want a white corner. So
oh, my boy Riley.
What is that narrative about white corners haven't been drafted or something like that? Is that what's going around?
Well, who's the last white corner that you loved?
Jason Sehorn.
Sehorn.
Right.
There goes Olu. He passed on him and he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Kenny McIntosh went. Oh, both of those guys I would have taken over the corner that Mike took. Just like from the island of Staten.
I'm trusting I'm the smartest man in the room.
There you go.
Now it's back to Tony. We're at 148, Tony.
We're lost here. I don't know any of these names. I would say based on need.
Schumacher.
Schumacher, the tight end
sounds good. Center. There was it Shrugs we were looking at, or somebody we were talking to. Right?
I
would take Patterson.
I don't know anything about
Shrugs if we were.
No, the guy we were looking at got drafted.
Yeah, the Michigan kid.
Yeah.
So
Trey Dean.
I mean, we haven't even looked at linebacker just because. Is there anything there?
Take another corner. Take Riley Moss.
Yeah.
Correct.
Actually, take a flyer on the dude.
Are you just trying to kiss Phil's ass here?
No, he's
smart. I'm not trying to kiss Phil's ass.
I know.
That's a good idea.
I know.
That's a good idea.
All right.
So is that who it is? Are we going with Riley Moss?
Right here.
Yeah, go
run it to the podium.
2 corners. Sounds like a Ryan Poles.
It does.
One of them might work out.
It's not like we don't. It's not like we don't.
Just so
need
far
that.
in the draft, there's no way I can keep up.
You
with
had to cover
who all these
for
people
Mike's
are.
mistake. Good job.
You got pick 218.
Oh, it's a waste.
You got 2 more. One more Mike pick. One more Mike fuck up coming.
Yeah,
up.
there goes
Let's
Schumacher.
get another defensive tackle.
Got to take a quarterback.
When are we going to help Justin?
Take a quarterback.
There goes Voorhees. USC.
What quarterbacks are available?
There's Ryan Cox guy right there. Quarterbacks, you're going to be. Well, it'll be interesting. I'm an O'Connell
Ronnie
fan.
Bell.
I'm an Aiden O'Connell fan. He reminds me of Jim Miller. I told Phil that, and he had just told his wife that watch it, and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Charlie Jones, my boy, went to the Patriots.
What about Malik Cunningham?
No, I wouldn't be in on him.
No. Stetson over Cunningham every day.
Yeah, I would.
Almost there. Juice Scruggs just went to the Cardinals.
All right, we are on the clock, and who's up? Whose pick is
My
it?
sleeper quarterback went to the Chiefs. Badgett.
Yeah.
I like that kid. Didn't
I'm
we
a
have
fan
a
of
quarterback from Shepherd?
Shepherd.
What was that kid? Lauren Cox was the #1 fan, or was that from another Wisconsin school?
That was Wisconsin Whitewater. You went
That's
to,
right. What was that dude's name? Does anyone remember?
Somebody in the chat will have it.
man.
I can't remember.
I actually like
Wiley?
that kid. Like, no.
I like Wiley, the tight end.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was guessing.
McBride would be an interesting pick down here.
McBride and Huff. Evan Huff. Evan Huff is tough.
Hull. Evan Hull.
I mean Hull.
Yeah.
Hull, I'm sorry. Evan Hull from Northwestern.
Northwestern.
We didn't get our center, did we?
No.
Never got a center. Carl Brooks always is a bear on our draft.
We got Dieter.
He
Bill.
always makes-
Dieter's
Yeah, we got
good.
Dieter. Yeah.
We got Dieter.
I know he doesn't fit the mold of Justin Fields and PJ Walker, but like I said, quarterback, I am an Aiden O'Connell fan. I don't know, Phil, if you'd be interested or you'd rather just wait on Stetson Bennett.
I would go with Stetson. I would go with Stetson because of what he could do. It's similar to the offense.
Yeah. No, they did not. I would probably pull it on. Agree with Ben here. I'd pull the trigger on Carl Brooks yet again. I know we always pick him, but for him to be available down here, it's highway robbery.
Got to take him.
But
Carl,
he's always
good to see you.
So this is
another
Stewart's pick.
Wants
to go.
I want to see tight end.
Landers is interesting. The tight ends are, I mean, Wiley, I think, is a kid that can come in here and play. Got that RAS 8.98, so he's very athletic, 6'6", 248.
Oh, I don't draft players with under 9 RAS, so I mean, that's
okay.
Yeah.
Not Nieberhus's team. Get your track shoes on.
So whose pick is it? Who's up?
Mine, I think, right?
Gibbs. Someone wants
that's the edge guy. Gibbs.
I have
Who's
no
the edge you
idea
guys
who
were
he's
talking
talking
about?
about. Is he talking about?
I think he's
That's
Brooks.
Carl Brooks. He's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
back in the beginning.
Yep.
Yeah, Carl
He's
Brooks.
a defensive tackle here, though. He's
Yes.
an edge.
They have him tackle. He could play both.
Yeah, 6'3", 300.
Look at that Raz.
Raz is really
Killing
low. Yeah, for a tackle.
Uh-oh.
Raz isn't good enough for you, Tony.
Make yourself.
Yeah, some Raz whores on our panel tonight.
I'm just
all
trying
about
to do what
stats,
Brian
yo.
Poles would do here. You know.
Stats tell you everything.
Herbig.
775.
Well, Herbig, that's a great name. You got to go for that one.
I'd be
Anybody.
interested in, like I said, Wiley, O'Connell.
He's not bad.
Stetson
I like the
Bennett.
tight end here, but
Take the tight end.
Go with Wiley.
yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
There you go. I know Matt Waldman likes Puka.
What?
Thinks he's a sleeper in this draft. The wide receiver, Puka from BYU.
Oh, they're into soap. Somebody got
Danny Noonan. Danny Noonan. In the
Sorry,
last
Sean.
10 years, 63 QBs have been taken, around 4 or 7. Only one turned out to be a starter.
Yeah, we
But
don't need
Purdy
him to be a
doesn't count.
starter.
Even though Purdy is a starter, he doesn't count. How do you do stats like that? He does count. Because now
Because
he's
it doesn't
part of
it
putting
doesn't
Trey
fit his
Lance on the
narrative,
bench.
you asshole, Phil.
Trey Lance is
All right.
now being put on the bench.
Carl Brooks got
So,
drafted up there.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Carl Brooks, right here. Take the quarterback, Stetson Bennett.
Their last pick. Go for it.
Bring him into
Yeah,
Chicago.
Got to get a
Who's-
quarterback.
Make it happen because I have no
Where
idea.
is he?
Oh, he's way the fuck down.
They have him
Is that the
ranked.
bar?
Wait, I don't know
Oh, there
why.
it is.
Maybe the off the field issue.
Yo,
I don't understand what they're
You're trying to draft a
Five.
cancer?
Him and Valey's can rent a car
That's
together.
He was in the passenger seat of Carter's car. No, I'm joking.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
I'm really
Oh.
sad about how I'm pretty sure Bayless is going to be a
so
bust.
are we pulling the trigger on the quarterback? Did they say?
Ben,
What do you
do
guys
it.
got?
Do it.
Do it.
Bang. That's
Stetson?
mine. We're gonna piss Justin off, but
Hey, get another
Hey,
Georgia
get a
kid in
fire
here,
on
and
his
there
head.
you go. The
All right.
Van
That's a crazy
Mock.
draft.
Well, and a first round
You got-
pick next year. So yeah.
1 through 4.
And you
man.
got a first round pick next year.
That's 3 first round
Wow,
picks.
well
You
done,
can make some
boys.
serious moves next year
So
with that pick draft capital.
you're either getting Marvin
I hate how they
Harrison or a
put-
quarterback.
Oh, that's how did you do that?
Well, you got to be smarter than the keyboard.
Jesus. You
shit.
did a good job there. I don't know how you get that up there.
No, for real. How did you do that? Because it always makes me have to
You
scroll.
can't take
So
a
you click
screenshot.
on full results, and then you click on the logo of the team.
Logo, and it'll pull it all the way.
Yeah,
up.
so you go. This is the where it'll bring you for full results. So you could do it for Carolina.
Cool.
Ah, nice.
Who'd they take?
You go to Philly.
Ooh, quarterback.
Or the team that we root for. Boom. But it will not show you your future pick. So down here would be
okay.
We have
We know that we got it.
I think it's important because I think that New Orleans could be you never know depending on
I don't think a quarterback is a waste right here at this spot. Like it's you never know what could happen. I mean, you heard of a guy named Tom Brady. I mean, for
that's somebody that comes out and says, "Oh my God, he was a massive bust." You remember the guy we took at the end of the 7th round, second to last pick? Come on,
200.
Would you waste?
Oh my God, I think it's like a travesty that you don't take a quarterback in this draft. Like if Poles doesn't take
11
one,
picks.
What was this?
Well,
1, 2.
the pace sold us
Check
on you pick a quarterback every draft, and then
he never did.
Never did, yeah.
Yeah.
And offensive
Well,
line
you
every
look at
draft,
this.
he never did.
Harrison starter, Cansey starter, Smith is
Dude,
gonna
that defensive line
push for
Definitely going to be
In the
playing
rotation.
a lot.
Yeah.
Smith is ready to play.
Bergeron, Mingo, and
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Braden can all
you lost
push.
it, didn't you?
Garrett
Gone
Williams, you're gonna have to buy some time with just because he did tear his ACL. But
thank God we got Riley Moss, Tony.
yeah.
Yep. Just to hold that spot.
Paid off big for us the last white corner we drafted. Everybody loves him.
Jesus.
And you got
I seriously
Joshua.
don't know anything past 103. It's like I don't know who these guys are.
You don't know Riley Moss. Well,
I'm only aware of him because of you.
I got to cut up his tape. Him and Garrett Williams.
You have to live by this
Shayne's
model.
not lying. Garrett.
Philly ain't gonna draft a running back at number 10. It's not how they operate. Offensive line or defensive
They'll take
line.
Jalen Carter though if he's there.
Yeah.
Whatever. Eagles.
Well, you end up getting 3 first-round picks next year
That's
in a
amazing.
draft where you are believing in Justin Fields. So therefore,
Yeah, we can finally draft our quarterback in the first round next year.
Mm-hmm.
Right, guys?
no, you
Panthers
believe in
suck.
him. Now you've gone surrounded him.
Yeah. So
And
who's our quarterback target next year?
Caleb Williams.
I don't want to live that life anymore.
Oh, we got another unhappy customer. Danny doesn't get the quarterback pick, the second to last pick in the draft. Sorry, Danny.
Danny, I'm going to tell you a quick
Talking about
story
a
about the
7th round
Bears.
draft pick.
I'm going to tell you a quick story about the Bears. They've had 48 quarterbacks that have started in the last 20 years or 15 years. So do that math. That's why you take a shot.
Listen, you know the way that you got to look at it? We just had an
Tom
11.
Brady.
These guys just had an 11 pick rookie class, and Danny's bitching about pick 258 out of 260. So that means you had a pretty good draft.
Exactly. You guys did a great job tonight. I truly appreciate you guys jumping on here. Hopefully you enjoyed your time here on the show. It was 3 hours long. 3 hours long, Shayne. Unbelievable. So we're gonna
I've never done that before.
Patrons Mike Salerno, Tony Padgett, and Shawn Steward, as well as who was the train
Hahn.
leader? My guy,
Cody
Hahn.
Yep.
Shout out to you four for coming on the show and being ambassadors of what we do at the Tape Never Lies Network. Let's do a condensed version of shout outs. Shayne, get the music ready.
Shout out Tape Never Lies. Shout out. I
I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love too. Shout out. I know you hear me, baby. Shout out. I know you see me, baby. Shout out. We gotta holla at you. Keep it 100 crew. Gotta show love.
You know how I feel about stats. Really, stats are for losers.
He wasn't
Coming on the plane
he
after
did the right
Dallas,
thing, so,
Shane. Yeah, so it's coming on the plane after
I just
Dallas.
don't get the
Jesus
quarterback
Christ,
pick.
dude.
at
Now we gotta cut it
258.
again. Oh my god, that was even more pronounced.
Repeat.
Holy shit, Bill.
Oh, listen, it's just a drop.
It's a
That's
good
all
one.
it is. Right, George?
I'm just a fan. I'm not a football evaluator.
It's just, I know, George. I know. Listen, I want to start by thanking you guys for coming on the show. Real quick, you have someone you want to shout out and anything else you wanted to say. Being a patron, whatever it is. Mike, we'll start with you.
Shout out to my boy. I wish he was right next to me. He's a Bears fan as well. He's living the life in Florida. My boy Jay.
Jay. Jay-Z. How you holding up, Mike?
Oh, this was tremendous. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for letting me be part of the party, and love to do this again.
Now, I'll always remember you.
2027, we'll have you back, bro. It's gonna be awesome.
Garrett Williams. His story is your story in my brain. I always remember
Good
that.
corner.
So
You got a starting cornerback right there.
we're gonna watch him in his career. Imagine if he becomes a Bear. That'll be great. Big Sean, loving the man cave in the background, has the jerseys, has a Patrick Kane. How about that jersey? I know a player in another sport.
Who's he play for, Phil? Do you know?
Blackhawks, right?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
No?
For the Rangers. bro.
Rangers.
He got traded?
Yep. For a bag
Oh,
of
my
used hockey
God.
pucks.
How are the Rangers, by the way? Are the Rangers any good? My cousin's a
bad, yeah.
huge fan.
Not bad. Not as good as the Bruins, though.
Shawn Steward, patron Shawn Steward. How are you? And do you have anyone to shout out?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Shout out to Cars and his family, man. You know, we've been seeing all the stuff going on there and losing his mom, and you know, his prayers out to his family. And saw the video you guys posted on Patreon earlier, and just heartfelt sympathies out to Cars, and love you, man. It was nice to meet you, and you know, gonna take some time, but you know, he'll get over it, and but we're all there for you. So other than that, I'd like to just shout out my brother Ben, who's at the tailgate with me. You met him, Phil, and
Yes.
and he's watching this show. So
What's up, Ben?
my brother,
Is
fellow
he
Bears
pissed
fan.
because he's not on the show too?
Big Ben, what up?
Nah, I'll have to rub it in though. And all you guys, this show is awesome. I just love your network and just everything you do. You keep it 100, keep it real. Teach us new things all the time, and I just love being a part of it. And if anyone's on the fence of being a patron, I know $7 a month is, you know, can be a lot for some people. They don't want to add an extra expense, but I would cut out so many other things before cutting off TTNL here, because it's totally worth it.
Gotta get Sean a hoodie that says "Fuck them kids." Go get Patreon.
There was actually, funny you said, I was telling Zorich because my son was like flipping out, and I'm on the phone with him for dinner and what he was eating, and there's this Instagram woman who had her new anthem.
Yeah,
I think I shared it on my story. It's called "Fuck Them Kids." It's a song.
Sean, I
She's
gotta
like,
ask you:
"Oh."
is that your Twitter on there?
It's my YouTube, but I don't even know what Twitter is. I hardly use it.
Okay, because I looked it up I looked
He's trying to
Stulacker
follow
up,
you.
Stulacker54 up, and it says that whoever that is a Minecrafter extraordinaire.
Oh yeah, I
Is that
made that
you?
years ago. Yeah.
Oh, Minecraft. My
Oh my
son
God.
loved that shit.
Yeah,
I mean, I was a big
Roblox.
Urlacher fan, so Stu, my last name mixed with that, and only you guys,
Yeah,
the ones that don't
Minecraft.
understand my actual username. Everybody else calls me Stu Latcher, whenever I have that name posted somewhere. So.
What about Stu? It always drives me nuts when people
say
call him
Stu
Urlacher.
Bratcher? You say Stu Bratcher?
Yeah, right.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I'm from Watsika, so
Who? Bingo Bratch?
Yeah.
Bingo
17.
Bingo Stu.
Bingo.
G47.
Janice, I just won 1150.
Get your coin purse, Janice.
Bratcher has those fucking bingo markers that the old ladies have at the casino.
That's why he drives a truck. The back end's loaded up with bingo markers.
We have to play bingo when he comes back. That would be great. Bingo.
Instead of a mock draft next show, just play bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. I want to see a Bratcher mock so bad. So bad.
You should put the names in one of those things and just pull them out.
Yes.
And
We'll take
That
Stat
would be
Mike,
it.
#1 overall, Phil.
Just in the. I'm not saying he's better. I'm just saying
Is there any Italian running backs that are mutters that we could draft at 52?
They lost out to Salam. Here, Tony Padgett. Shout out.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shout out my wife Risa. She deals with me, watches you guys all the time. She just see her face sometimes. She turns around and goes, "Dude, he's pissed." Talking about you, Phil.
All my fault.
But she deals with me, you guys every Wednesday, and no questions asked. She's a converted Bears fan now, so much love.
What was her name? Risa?
Risa, R-I-S-A. She's Japanese.
Nice.
Thank you, Risa, and God bless you for putting up with a bear. It's a disease, I said. That was the one thing
I told her my tombstone's gonna say died of a heart attack during Bears game.
Yeah. I always do wonder about the people that listen to us, thinking about their wives, girlfriends, and stuff like that when they're, when we're having one of our meltdowns. Or did he just call that guy dude's grandmother a cunt live on air? Did he just do that?
Yeah, and you're on my sound bar with the fucking subwoofer.
Yeah, right.
Blasting on my big screen. So she can't not hear it.
Hey, my mom watches every show, and she's like, "Shayne, I never knew you talked like that." And I'm like, "It's not. It's just a bit."
I fucked your mom.
I've been trying to find it for the last fucking 10 seconds. Thank you.
Audio. It's just so slick and skinny and all. Oh, Jesus. This is a new drop.
I do some other things with the hog, but
TTNL is the best.
Thank you, Anthony. You guys
I got it up.
You guys are the ambassadors. A lot of people take, mimic, comment, hate, but without you amazing haters, but more importantly, you guys that support us as fans, as Chris Zorich said, those haters are just private, jealous losers that want to be in the family.
If nobody's hating, you're not doing it right.
I fucked your mom.
Phil. We must be doing it really right then.
Phil. Could you hear me?
We bring
there you go. Yep, I like it.
all the drops are coming out. We bring the whole family here. I love Cherie's mom, including Cherie's mom and everybody. We are excited. Draft is coming up. We're gonna have huge shows. The patron side of this breaking down tomorrow night. The entire draftable offensive line of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
None of those guys can help Justin, though, Phil.
To the top of your fucking class.
None of those guys can help Justin. So we're going to look at their tape, isolate on each one of these guys to give you a look at what they do on film, and it excites you because all three of these guys, I honestly could see the Bears having a love affair with them. It'll be me, Shayne, and my dad tomorrow night breaking down, and Ivan, breaking down.
I have work tomorrow night. So.
Oh,
yes.
Whoever did
Yeah,
that was great. Was that Shayne?
No.
That was Jackal.
I have no
That wasn't
comedic.
me, dude.
I've been told
It
I have no
wasn't me.
comedic timing.
Somebody
I
did
was
that.
still trying to find I fucked your mom. I couldn't find
The yes drop was great. But yes, tomorrow night then, and then on the weekend, Saturday, we'll break down Darnell Wright and Broderick Jones. So you'll have a full week and a half, maybe, of offensive tackles and what they bring to the table here. 1-2 is way behind. Here's my one right there, Broderick Jones, offensive tackle. Will the Bears do it? We discussed it, the free agents and everything. Jackal, do you have anyone to shout out quick?
Just I want to shout Cars out, man. Thinking a lot about him. You know, losing a parent, never been experienced by myself, but I've had friends that have lost parents. But losing someone significant to you is traumatic. Thoughts and prayers to Cars and his family.
Good stuff. Really good stuff. Ivan Vargas finally made it on the big board.
Finally made it? No, I
Finally
think
made
Jackal said it best. Shout out to Cars. You know, we're thinking about him. We love him. You know, just all the best to him and his family right now. Just thoughts, like, you know, I know thoughts and prayers don't mean much, but like when you invest in it and you really believe in it and you care for the person, I think it does go a long way. I mean, as long as, you know, as far as you could really go with it. So I really thinking about Cars. Hope he's happy. You know, not happy, but hope he's, you know, starting to find his peace is what it is.
Good help there, Jackal. Way to help a brother out there at the end.
Takes one to know one.
Only time, my friends. Only time.
Shayne.
Yeah, man. I'm keep it simple. Cars, our guy. Phil and I have been connected to him since 95, 96, right in that range. Great dude. Couldn't ask for a better person to know, a better person to have in your corner. I know everything progressed with his mom so quickly. I know it was tough for him. He lost his father early on. And so, like he said in the video that we posted for you patrons, it's been him and his mom for the last 28 years. And I want to praise Cars, just the person, a little bit more, because one thing that we do on this network, Phil and I talked about it a little bit today. I didn't ask Cars to make that video. And if anybody knows Cars, knows that he's a guy that's very private and doesn't say a whole lot. And I was very blown away and proud of him for taking that step, because we talk about, he said it in the video, talked about the transparency and being vulnerable. And I don't think a lot of people realize how hard that is to be that way. Not just talking to somebody across from you, but when you go on a forum like this and there's people that you can't see listening from all over the world, it can change you. I announced here that my son, who was 10 years old at the time, had cancer. I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. I was having even problems breathing, getting to that point. But as soon as I did it and talked about it and was with my, brothers and sisters here on this network, it was very therapeutic to me in my everyday life. And I hope Cars, after he did that, got a little bit of just a little bit of solace in his life. The only thing that can help you now is time. Every day you're never gonna forget your mom. She's gonna be there with you every day. But you guys have heard me talk more than enough about, I tend to look at things in a different way. Cars' mom was 79 years old. Cars is 45. He had his mom for 45 years. That's the way that I look at it. There's a lot of people out there that don't get that chance. I have many friends that have lost both parents while they were teenagers or even before, and so you had 45 great years. In time, you'll learn to love that and embrace that. Now is not the time for it. Now is the time where we surround our brother with love, compassion, and anything that he needs, and we help him. We'll invite him back with open arms when he's ready to come back. And we shout out Carr's mom for being the beautiful lady that she was, always with a smile on her face and always with love for her two beautiful granddaughters, and being a great mom. Without her, Carr said he's not the person that he is today. You're not going to find too many better people than Matthew Carstensen, and that's a testament to his mom for helping build that man. So Cars, we love you. We wouldn't be where we are without you helping build us up and guide us, through what we've been through. Big part of what we've done and a big part of where we're going. And we love you. So anything you need, that we're always here. So love you, bro, and can't wait to have you back.
So well said. I just want to say shout out to you guys for coming on here once again, and everybody on this network. And obviously, I'll finish off quickly and just reiterate what it is. I don't ever have a script, so how do I top what Shayne said? Losing a son and his mother is a bond beyond heaven's scope. It's the miracle of life, obviously, comes through that. So for him to have this loss and be the person he is, I just want him to know how much I love and appreciate the person and the father he is and the husband, but also to see him grow. I break a lot of balls, but as a teacher and a coach, I take a lot of pride in the people I surround myself with. For him to take that stance, whether he cares or not, I'm just so proud of his strength in vulnerability. Because as a man, despite what this world, whatever you want to call it, woke, soft, millennial, whatever it is, in this world, there's a lot of evil people. And Cars showing that vulnerability shows the opposite. Just a great son. His mom should be so proud. I will tell you, Cars, speaking to you, if you see this, maybe you're watching it now, I was never more impressed and shocked than pressing play on the video that Shayne sent me and watching you eloquently speak about your mom, about this network, and about your family. So I ask everybody, I always say it, the power of prayer, whatever you believe in, the level of positivity sent over to Cars and his family right now, because kids can't process an end. Most of us, even, so it's the role of feeling your mom and the loss, as well as having to explain it and be there for you. It's a terrible place that all of us will be in one day. Hopefully not, but right now he is. So Cars and his wife, his beautiful wife, Stephanie, I toast you. I say my prayers to you guys and all of you. May everybody know that this network stands for the family always first. So whenever he's ready to be back, it's going to be Cars on a roll again, no matter how many times he's going to yell at me or whatever and laugh. But I miss you, buddy. God bless you. Thank you, everybody, all you fans tuning in tonight, having a blast here at TTNL. We'll be live again, Patron, and over the weekend, breaking down offensive tackles of the draft. And next week we'll be back with a special guest on Keeping It 100. Become a patron. Do yourself a favor. Become a part of the family. Yes, when you put your credit card in, Shayne, it usually charges it, right?
Yes. Crazy, I know.
I'll give you $7. $7.
Not smart. 7 rubles.
Rubles, yes.
7 rubles. We'll see you guys next time here on TTNL. Is there a shorter take to get out of here?
I got one right here. Got a 12-seconder.
There you go.
The Tape Never Lies Network.
The Tape Never Lies.
Starts now.